Right. What's up, everybody? Oh man, I got something screwed up already. There we go. Fixed it. Look at that. Starting off on a bad note. Here we are. Hey, what's up? We're gonna do another live stream. Brian's probably gonna take this one away because I think you can kind of moderate it. But we got Zach here today too. We got a lot of things to do. We got a new build. Oh, I need to release the new build. Lots of things happening. So,
Oh my
uh,
gosh, so many things happening today is ridiculous, actually, in a good
little
way.
little stressful getting things going, but we're here. We're live. I'll start playing. When we could probably start by talking about the new build that we're going to release
Yeah.
in a few minutes.
First of all, let's welcome Zach back. What's up, man? It's so awesome when you hang out with us. It's the best. When you said you were going to be able to do it this week, I've been pumped about it ever since. So stoked to have you here, man.
Nice, thanks. It's super nice to be there again. Second live for me. But I looked at the previous one, it was really fun too, so I'm stoked to be here today.
It's the most fun when you have stuff that you're going to drop. And we've got some stuff to drop today. Last night, Joe and I were kind of playing and doing some work. We started to mention numerous things that we felt like we needed to work on, talk about, and we were like, well, let's just do it in the stream tomorrow. Work in public. Kind of do it in front of everybody and get everybody's take on what we're thinking. So that is the plan. Plus an unveil of sorts later today, and Joe just pushed another build with 2 more tracks in it, which he's going to shred today.
Not yet, but I will in a few minutes.
Nice.
I'm playing it, but I haven't pushed it. So this is one of the new tracks. This is Prancer Stardust that you can see in the top, and this is combining Prancer and Siggy Stardust, which is a new trail. It's called Siggy Stardust because we had that first double Black Diamond patron tier, and that's my buddy Alejandro. And if you do the double Black Diamond patron tier, you get to name your own trail in the game. And he wanted to name it Siggy Stardust. So the new trail is called Siggy Stardust because of Alejandro. Thanks, Alejandro, for your support.
So this one's Prancy Stardust. So talk a little bit about that. We've got Ziggy Stardust, we've got Prancer, we've got Prancy Stardust. What's the sitch?
Yeah, so, oh no, don't miss the gate. Prancy Stardust is, the top half is Prancer and the bottom half is Siggy Stardust. Siggy Stardust is the new one, which we're about to break into in a little bit here. But that's the one that Cedric's been working on, and he finished it up early this morning. We didn't waste any time to get it out to you guys, so we haven't really been ran it. I think I ran one run for a TikTok that I posted a little bit ago, and that was it. I haven't run any on this one yet. But yeah, so this top section's more flowy. There's really no tech at all. It's just kind of real flowy. And then the second half, where you get into Siggy Stardust, is going to be more like downhill, proper like UCI kind of style downhill track with lots of tech and highway section and some other cool stuff. So we're about to crack into the second half. This is kind of fun. This is the first time I've done this. 9 splits, a little ridiculous, but
yeah, nice. I haven't seen it looking like this yet either. It's not the unveil we were talking about, but it is kind of an unveil.
oh, don't miss.
Yeah, I don't think the people have been able to see Siggy Stardust track before. Maybe parts of it in the previous builds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did some teaser videos on social, but I don't think they've ever seen, unless they just saw the TikTok I posted today, then they haven't seen the whole thing.
Man, Tails just asked if the unveil is a baby monkey t-shirt, and my God, that's a good idea. And it's pretty shocking that hasn't occurred to me yet, actually. It could happen eventually. That's good thinking, Tails. It'll be on you if it happens. Makai says that your vocals are a little bit quiet compared to gameplay, Joe. FYI, I don't know if you want to try to sort that or not, but
yeah,
I know you have other things going on right now.
I'll tweet that after this run. Yeah, I'll lower gameplay, raise my vocals. Is everyone's audio voice low, or is it just mine?
Yeah, let us know how. Let's do a little sound check because we're noobs at this, guy. So I'm talking. You got my voice levels right now. Let us know if it sounds okay. Zach, what you got, man?
Yes. Can you hear me well, or am I too low too?
There we go. Zach and Joe, one more time.
Yeah, one more time for Joe. Hello.
All right.
Zach, I don't know if you saw, but back there's like a floating yellow post.
Yep. I saw the floating.
It's definite now because Karen's up in the house and she let us. Joe's mom's in the house and she let us know for sure Joe's voice is too low compared to the game sound. So that's enough for me. I think we got to figure that out when you're not laying down a burner. What's up, Karen? How are you? Tails is here. Whoopie is up here. Birdshaw's here even. He can't focus on the gameplay because he's too busy looking at Joe. We've all been there. Come on. Yeah, Bird agrees. Your sound is a little too low. Makai's here. Vic Hurl. When are we planning to redo the bike model? Huh.
I wonder.
Hang out with us. Maybe you'll get a bit of an answer to that, or at least a partial answer to that today, Vic Hurl. So I don't know. We'll see. Duck, what's up? Scruffy's here too. Adam's here. Chill Clinton's back. What's up, man? Feels like Christmas morning. Agreed. To me too.
All right, there's a race run done. Let me fix the audio.
All right, here we go. See if we can sort this out. What's up, TikTok people? I will respond to all these comments here in just a minute after we do a sound check.
Should be better now. Game is lower and I am higher.
Yeah, there we go. Let us know what y'all think.
Better for me too.
I'm gonna kind of cruise real quick. Oh, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. I'll catch up on TikTok after you.
My nose is itchy today. Like allergies. Sorry, guys. I'll be doing this a lot. I want to talk about the update real fast. I'll set this live here in like a minute. But the update. So we got the new trail, 2 new trails. We have Prancy Stardust, which I just did. Siggy Stardust, which is down here, which is the bottom half of this.
Also a great David Bowie song, almost.
We also have this new setting called In-Air Rotation Assist. And let me go show you what that does. I will move back over to this trail. So I'm going to, I don't think it's the overlay up. Overlay up might be for YouTube. But like if I move, like here, now I let go of the sticks. It just kind of autocorrects. Hodge was here last week. I don't know if you're in chat today, Hodge, but he kind of recommended like auto adjusting in air. If you're not on the inputs, it kind of auto adjusts. So that's what we added. So that's what this in-air rotation assist setting is. I'm going to turn mine off because I like it off. But if you want some assistance in the air, nice thing to have there. Fix some bugs. Oh, there's a new Shrelt mechanic in the works. It's kind of very much in the works. But we figured instead of like pulling it out for this build, just leave it in and you guys can try it. Let me try it up here. The few times I've tried it, it's been a little bit buggy, but we're working on it. So right now you control it with the right bumper. So let me see if I can, it kind of did it right there. Sometimes it does that.
Oh,
it yeets you off, but it also is slowing you down a little bit too much. But anyway, that's in there. It's a work in progress. We're working on it. So that's the main updates, and I'm going to go set it live now. So if you guys want to get the new builds, you'll be able to in a minute.
Nice. We only ask that you don't leave us. If you're going to play the new build, play and hang out with us at the same time. Joe's pulling it off.
All right, should be up now. Windows and Mac. I'll do a Linux version later for those of you who want it on Steam Deck or whatever other reason you would want a Linux build. Yeah.
Let me do a quick TikTok roll call here. What's up to everybody who's joining us over there? A couple questions right here. When will it come out? It's out now in prototype form. If you join our Patreon at the $5 or better level, you have access to all the prototypes we build. Ask anybody who is playing already. We don't mess around when it comes to prototypes. We dropped another one today, another update today, multiple ones per month, and we make real differences between one and the other. Also on Patreon, I'll just kind of answer this one ahead of time. If you ultimately spend $50 total over time, you'll get a Steam key and you'll get the game when it comes out fully. So kind of a way to be a part of the process of building it and also pay for it in installments, essentially. ETA for PlayStation 5 or other consoles from everybody. Supernova, welcome. Thanks for coming. Cinderella looks thick. Thank you very much. As far as ETA for consoles, we don't really know. We're trying to not guess at things. We're trying to focus and move aggressively, but at a pace that keeps us focused. So we're not really establishing dates about things that are too far in the future because we just don't know and we don't want to say something that's not true. So not sure, but we get it right on PC. It's going to be a priority to get it right on consoles as well. Panda, what's up, man? Good to see you on the YouTube side of things. Okay, whoever's playing is killing it, Cinderella says. Yeah, it's Joe. He's fast. I got to give it to him. Oftentimes top 10, so quite fast. What's up, Coconut? Coconut, no, there's no, you can play this prototype, yeah, Coconut, just as I mentioned a minute ago, by joining our Patreon. Anybody who's a part of that Patreon can do that. Connor wants to know if the unveil is the framework bikes. It could be the framework bike. That could, yeah, that's the unveil. We're going to show the framework bike work in progress here in a little bit. That's what it's going to be. And it's awesome. Maggie's killing it. We're stoked about it, so we're going to show that for sure. Let's see. Anything else here over on this side? Lots of people. Johnny, welcome, man. Is it playable on Chromebook or PS5? Not consoles yet. I don't know. Has anybody tried it on a Chromebook that you know of, Joe?
Don't think that would work, because isn't Chromebooks like mostly internet-based?
Yeah.
So I don't think that would work.
Yeah, it runs some sort of version of Linux, so you could like have some wine working, you know, to still play the game, but Chromebooks are pretty low performance, so.
Rosman says, what actually is the game called? The game's called Cranked. You can find us on the social platforms. Cranked Game, generally speaking, is where we are, and at Patreon. That's the main place to check us out, because that's where you can actually get a hold of this prototype. Here's the first question from TikTok Tuck, which we'll get 40 times today, and it's okay. People come in and see the game for the first time, so it's sensible that they ask, what's the difference between us and Descenders? We get it, for sure. I still haven't figured out a way to answer this with consistency without sort of making every stream about answering what's different about us and Descenders. We've got to figure that out just so we don't have boring streams. But
well, I mean, I would say the first thing, what do you see on the screen right here that Descenders doesn't have? And I would say proper downhill racing structure, competitive racing structure with leaderboards, time attack style mode. That's one big thing. But the biggest difference is the way the game feels, the physics. And really, it's hard to compare it, but Descenders is more slippery. This is like more grippy and a little more responsive. But best way is just to hop on Patreon and for $5 give it a spin and compare it to Descenders yourself, honestly.
Torchy Life. Well, what's up, man? Like Torchy Tacos in Austin, Texas. Yeah, we'll definitely be adding multiplayer. It's actually, it's kind of a cool thing to bring up while Zach's here, because if I'm not mistaken, Zach, you're kind of excited to eventually get working on multiplayer. Is that right? Is that something that you're particularly looking forward to doing?
Oh yes, super much. I have looked at different technologies and stuff, and I think I want to sort of self-host a server just for the Patreons to have fun together. I feel like it wouldn't be. Maybe I'm talking ahead of stuff, but I feel like at some point I'm gonna get crazy and just try it a little bit, just for us to see each other in the map. That would be so awesome, right? Even if it's a bit, even if it's not working super fine, it will be so fun already to be able to see each other on the map.
Heck yeah, we have Tess up in the house, by the way. Joe and I had an awesome conversation with our old friend Tess today, one-on-one, and we were like, you know, Zach's going to be on the stream today. And she showed up for you. I know it was because you came, Zach, but nonetheless, whatever it takes to get Tess around, we do that. Anything else you want to talk about as far as what you're thinking when it comes to PvP and to kind of continue with Torchy Life's question? Anything that you're any like roads your brain's been going down about how you want to do it or anything?
Yeah, there are multiple ways yet, right? You could do it like Minecraft or Valheim style, where everyone would need to create its own server, and then you invite friends on your whoop. We saw a little something. So that's one way to do multiplayer, you know. But I don't like this because I want to go some sort of massively online multiplayer. Basically, the way. Like I think Descenders does it that way, or when you join the map and suddenly you are seeing everyone else that is playing on the same map. So that would be the way I want to do it. It's a bit more complex because then we have to host the server ourselves, but I think that's worth it.
Sorry, guys, Joe, I used to I used to work at RacerX, and my friend Davey Coombs, who's the owner of that magazine, used to be the trackside pit reporter for motocross on, broadcast on TV. And he would do a helmet cam thing for a while where he would be out riding a track with a microphone on and talking about the track as he goes. Makes me wonder if maybe you should be doing a little bit of a walkthrough of what you're playing on these new tracks as you go through, just kind of describing the trails as you see them.
I'm just trying to survive at this point, but this trail's old news. Most people know this trail.
Yeah,
so
that
it's
trail's
more
old.
the-
Although that S turn right there to me is just mad fun. So is the more difficult one at the end
is
that has
this.
the additional
Like-
turn into it.
I like that,
Yeah.
jumping up into that berm.
Yeah, that's fun. But this S turn that comes up in a bit with the additional turn, that's if you're humming along and you nail that, it's so much fun. It's so satisfying. Aaron,
Yeah.
what's up? Welcome. Hope you're
Cool.
having a great day today too. Gosh, Aaron's been at every one of these. Always shows up. It's awesome.
Little 360 there.
All right, what's up, guys, on TikTok? So happy to see you here, very much. Can you fall off the bike? You can crash.
There you go. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Way to
Good
jinx me.
timing. There you go. Yeah, you can. I'm gonna jump up and
No,
I'm a little
God,
behind.
please, no, no!
Oh man. All right, cool. Yeah, Gage, you might be right. We could pin like our response to what's different about this and Descenders to the FAQs, but we have found out people don't actually read FAQs either, so we're not sure what it is. I want to be clear, we're also not expecting people to not ask us that question. If you just stumble onto this game and you've never seen it before, I get that might be the first thing somebody would think, so it's all good. We just don't know always how to handle it exactly, is the thing. Braden thinks we should make it easier to fall so it's more challenging. That's Braden's take on TikTok. We got a bunch of follows.
Yeah, that's
Logan,
actually,
Johnny Holden.
The
88.
the falling thing is actually something Zach and I were just talking about yesterday and today, and kind of been an ongoing discussion. And that's one thing we want to address, is making it a little bit easier to crash and fall, because sometimes right now you can do things that are a little bit out of control. So that's one thing we'll be tweaking soon. Zach, do you have any ideas on when you would be tweaking that stuff?
I think after the shrouding, if it ever gets to a good position, to a good spot. Yeah, I think that's quite important, right? Because that changes how we build the track in some ways, at least. If we get a bit less forgiving in the crashes, then some jumps are going to get harder and so on. So it's nice to get this done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's good. So pretty much in the next week or two, we'll probably start working on the crash stuff. But yeah, it does need to be fixed. Like, I'm gonna go off track here and show you like this. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that, land sideways and just slide down the hill. There's been other instances where I kind of, you hit something and it throws your bike in a weird direction. So instead of doing that, it should make you crash. So yeah, we agree with you, and we'll definitely fix that up, and probably do a couple different rounds of testing and tweaking and making sure it feels right. A lot of times what we do is kind of go a little overboard on the first take, feel the craziness of it, go overboard, and then kind of dial it back. So
The cool thing about the way we're developing this game so publicly, though, is that, like, you get an idea, you guys talk it through, you work it out, you figure out what you think is best. A day or two later, there's a build, and we've got, many dozens of people playing it, giving us feedback and let us know what they like. So it's easy to kind of identify early if we're way off base or if we've nailed something, and it makes it easier for us to stay focused and move in the right direction. Killer. It's fun developing like this. Hey, Dana. Dana Funyak's here. What's up?
oh, what up, Dana?
Nice to see you here.
Hello.
Doc
Dude.
is back. What's up?
Cedric's probably not here, but if he was, I'd yell at him for this one marker because it's already annoying me. I'll probably end up fixing
Cedric.
it myself because I'll be annoyed.
Vicuril has a really good question, a really good point here. I want to ask it, and I think any of us could answer it. He says, I remember spending hours just to learn MX bikes, so is cranked more like an easy to learn, hard to master type of thing? Joe, since this is that was always kind of your vision, I think you should take that one.
Yeah, that's the key. Is like, I don't think riding a bike is super hard in real life. So the basics, like here, I'll just go show you the basics. Left stick turns, right stick is pedal. or right trigger. Left trigger's brake. And then you add in the right stick to jump, lean more, and then you kind of combine both sticks to get crazy in the air, but doing stuff. So you know, majority of the time you're just using 4 controls: pedal, brake, turn, and lean. So the controls themselves are very simple, but it's kind of putting all that stuff together and nailing a full complete run top to bottom. That is incredibly hard. And then trying to go fast too. So if we look at the leaderboards, I got to change to the leaderboard scene. I made a leaderboard scene so you guys could see the full leaderboards. Like let's go look at Prancer, which is probably the easiest trail in this. And you could look, I'm 11th.
Easiest trail in the game, I think.
Yeah.
Including Fika Break.
I'm 11th with a 207. And I played this game probably more hours than anyone. And then look at Tails, the top guy, 159. So he's beating me by 7.5 seconds. And it's not like, we just did a couple runs. Like I've grinded this for hours and hours, and I know he has too. So that's the difference even between high level players, myself and him, we're 7-8 seconds apart. So that's really where the skill comes in, and the difficulty is really like nailing your lines. Every little thing affects you. So like right here, like if I was to hit this rock or not hit that rock, that might slow me down a little bit. Same with coming in here. Like you come in here, you're really I'm trying to pick my line. Like I'm going to slow down, and I'm trying to go in between the rocks right here, in between the rock right there, off of this rock, over that rock. Like you're really trying to figure out the smoothest section to hit. Because if you start hitting, some of the rocks that are bigger or have sharper edges or whatever, you will feel it. So the hard part isn't really like learning the controls and getting the hang of it. The hard part is putting together fast runs and being competitive and, dialing in your lines, taking advantage of speed in every place you can. But there's a lot of depth to it. It's very Trackmania kind of vibes where, Trackmania is super easy to learn, but very hard to be competitive in that game and be good.
I'm going to do a quick catch up on
to the scene, man.
What up? I'm going to do a quick catch up on TikTok. I'm getting a little bit behind over here. Just first of all, shout out to K Morg and TikTok Talk, Luxie, Mason, Star, Billy. Thank you guys for the follow, Elstat. Appreciate it from all of you. When is it coming to console? Well, we've kind of mentioned this before. It's we don't know for sure. We're just kind of getting it right on PC first. But the plan is, if things go well on PC, definitely to take this game to console. I'll kind of get out ahead of this now. We don't have immediate plans to put this on VR or on mobile. We hear those things a lot, though, and we're open-minded people. So we're going to kind of see how things go, and you never know down the line. Mobile, it's hard for us to see how that would work just because of the way you control the game. But it would certainly be doable in VR, potentially. Probably PC VR if we did that. Can you land Z's? All the Z's ask, can you land backwards and ride backwards?
Yeah.
This is something that you can do, and Joe will show it to you, I'm sure, in a little bit.
Yeah, I'll do it after this run, but I'm on a good run right now.
Dan's Gaming Van says you'd love to play it on the stream. There's nothing stopping you, Dan. In fact, we would help you do that. So reach out to us and let us know what you want or what you need. Or hang out with us on our Discord. We're very active over there, so you can stop by at any time and talk to us about it if you want to. And if you've got something that you're streaming live, we'll make sure we let our players know that you're doing it. That'd be cool. See Gage is back over there. It's good to see you on TikTok there. Some people say just play Descenders. Again, we'll hear that a lot on this call. We've learned. Is this going to be like Descenders? One thing I think that helps a lot when people ask us about Descenders, which again is a fair question, is when people who are actually playing Cranked and understands how different it is, responds in the comments. Not that I think it's everybody else's job to monitor our comments and do that. That's our job. But just a heads up, I did notice that TikTok Tuck answered a question for somebody and kind of explained why it's so different. And that's just a big help when you guys do that. That way people are getting answers and I don't have to talk about it the whole show. But it's very different. It doesn't play anything like Descenders. We haven't started working on the art of this game yet. We've only been doing it for 4 months ish, maybe a little more than that. I saw somebody on TikTok ask that question. We're just a little over 4 months in. It was actually TikTok who asked that question. TikTok Tuck. Just over 4 months.
Still in first. The build is released and I'm still in first. I'm surprised Tails isn't already on here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, seriously.
Joe, you're still in the leaderboard.
I realized that, so I just I put it back.
Chandler, thank you for answering some questions for us, man. I'm glad that you love these physics. That's great. Mitch, thank you for saying that it looks sick.
A new
Duck
favorite
also,
trail in the game.
I see Duck asked if we changed anything regarding how the bike behaves in this new build. No, there was no big physics change. And that's why we didn't wipe the leaderboard so far, because you shouldn't get any advantage or disadvantages regarding the previous builds.
Right.
There was a little Shrelp. So I'm gonna try the Shrelp thing on that berm a few times just for you guys to see. And if anyone has feedback, let us know. But I also think it'll be cooler in third person. Here we go. Yeah, see, kind of works. You can hear it too. Go like, but I think in third person will be cool because we'll have some like dirt spraying out. And,
yeah.
Yeah, need some tuning, but we're working on it. There we go.
FTOC Chaz says the game
didn't
looks
work.
like it has so much potential. Can't wait to play. We can't wait for you to play it, actually. And you can if you want to. If you just go to our Patreon and subscribe now, you can play it on Mac or PC or really Steam Deck. A lot of people are playing the Linux build on their Steam Decks too. And that seems to be
I haven't
running pretty
uploaded
well,
a
right,
Linux
Joe?
build yet, but I will. It runs
Yeah.
fine. I mean, I'm capped at. I don't have my Steam Deck is the one that only goes 60 hertz. So, but mine's capped at 60 FPS at all times so far. So that's cool.
We've got
works great.
Hoppa Papa says indie devs making watered down versions of regular games and making it more inconvenient is so funny.
Huh.
Interesting. I wonder if you played it or if this is just based off of a quick view of video on here. I wonder if you're still hanging with us. Let us know if you've actually played it or if that's more of a comment based on, a minute or two of watching video. Curious.
We're also
all the mountain bikes game out there are indie games, so that's a weird thing to say.
except Riders Republic, I guess. But we're also just barely coming out of what's the word? Prototype phase. We spent a couple months working on this prototype, and now we're moving into full production. So we're super early on. But the vision for this game is different than any other mountain bike game that's out there. None of the mountain bike games, to me, feel like they don't simulate the feelings I have when I'm on a real bike. I've been riding pretty much my whole life, and I love all the mountain bike games. I've played all of them. I still play all of them. And they're fun, but they just don't flow and have the same feeling that I get when I'm out riding my real bike. So because of that, I've been dreaming of making my own game for many years and finally get the opportunity to do it. And not only will the physics and all that stuff feel different, but there's so many other things around the game, the meta game, the career mode, the way we're going to do multiplayer, the features we're going to have in multiplayer, the modding. Like there's just so many different things. There's no other mountain bike game that has the full list of features that we're planning on having. So maybe right now it's a scaled down version that you're seeing because it's barely out of prototype phase, but the end version is going to be a lot different than what you see here.
Brad, can't wait. Welcome, man. I'm glad that you're pumped about the game. LFC, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Noah says, how does it feel to be competing with games like Riders Republic, if that's how you see it? The way I would answer that is it feels amazing, truly amazing, to be building something that we so strongly believe in with people we like working with so much and with a community that's so active and having fun, and we're doing it all together. It doesn't really come into our daily thought processes that we're in some big competition with anybody. Just don't really think that's a good way to make games. It's not how we do it. So it feels really good to make Cranked, I can tell you that much, but it doesn't really have anything to do with Riders Republic or any of the other games. That's how I would answer that. If you guys have anything else you want to say about that, go for it.
I mean, I'll just say I think it's cool that we mountain bikers and people into mountain biking games finally get a nice variety to choose from. Like in the past, we had one game, and as time goes on, more and more games are coming out, and other genres like I was talk about first-person shooters because that's the other genre I like to play a lot of. There's thousands and thousands of them, and every time a new one's announced, everyone's not calling it a Call of Duty clone. So I just think all the mountain bike games are different. They all feel different. Riders Republic feels different than Descenders. Descenders feels different than Lonely Mountains Downhill, which feels different than Mavericks, which feels different than Crank. Like we all have different things going on. We've got different styles. I think we cater to different people, and you got options. So I think that's exciting.
Gruffy asked, can I sub double black for 1 month, then switch to a lower tier so he can name a trail?
Yeah, that's
Thanks
kind
for bringing that up, Zach. I saw that a minute ago and meant to respond and forgot about it, so thank you.
So what do you say, guys?
That's kind of the intent.
Okay.
Like, that's what we assumed most people would do is sub at for 1 month, get their rewards, and then switch over. My buddy said he's going to stay on the top tier because he wants to support us.
Goose Frog is back. What's up? Hey, Vicuril, if you get a chance to play, Vicuril says hasn't played Crank yet, but it looks to him or her more interesting than more interesting gameplay. He feels like some of the other games cater to a different audience. If you get a chance to play Vicuril, I'm super curious about how it feels to you when you actually get your first sessions in. So let us know, please, if you do that, or anybody else for that matter. What should we do? Should we do? We have an unveil to do at some point, Joe.
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't see any reason to put it off.
Yeah.
So you want to set it up, or do you want me to set it up?
Go ahead.
Well, we got a work in progress files of the new Frameworks bike today from Maggie. Got them at the last minute, literally I think within 30 minutes of the stream, and obviously we were like, man, we'd love to show these, but we don't really do that type of thing if we don't get the approval of whoever we're working with. We don't want to surprise Frameworks by showing something publicly that they're not okay with. So reached out to them, didn't really think they had enough time to respond to us and give us the okay, but Logan was back to us in a few minutes and gave us the thumbs up. So we have work in progress, 3 different angles of the Framework bike that Maggie's working on. There it is. She sees the end in sight. The hope is that we have this in the game rideable within a couple of weeks, you think, guys? Is that what the hope is?
Yeah, I mean, I think as soon as Maggie's done, Zach, you said it was simple to implement, so hopefully a week or two.
So a lot of people sometimes ask us, they mention the ridiculous, horrible bike that's in the game right now and the graphics in general. We'll just kind of reiterate, we haven't really started on graphics. The first real work we've put into graphics is what you're seeing on the screen right now. This is Maggie building Frameworks bike, which will be the initial bike in the game. And after we get this done, we'll get the riders done, female and male riders. And then she's going to spend a lot more time working on the environment and making it that cozy, stylized version, similar to what you see in the game right now. But she's got way bigger ideas than that, bigger plans than that. This kind of gives you an idea, at least when it comes to the bike, what Maggie's thinking. What do you think, Joe? You like it?
Yeah. Tail says he's not a fan of the lower 4 colors, but the rest is sick. We're actually basing this off of the images Framework sent, and they had a version where it was all gold, gold and silver kind of, and it looks sick. So that's where that's coming from. But as long as Frameworks allows us to, once we add customization, you'll be able to change the colors of anything. So it's their bike. If they don't want certain colors to be changed, that's their right, and they can choose that. But hopefully they'll be down with letting players just change the colors of whatever they want, and then you could customize it how you want. But we'll have one default version that'll go in the game first. But there it is. So we'll show it more later. But I'm gonna go back to playing.
Nice. We'll post it on our Discord and Patreon later as well, just so it's kind of up and people can see the work in progress. Again, it's a work in progress. When we have a final version, we'll run it by Logan and make sure those guys are okay with it before we approve it, and then we'll show it to everybody and get it in the game. Then it comes down to Zach getting it done.
Yeah, so can't wait to replace this garbage that we have in here now. I just saw a comment that I want to address quickly, and it says, "Wait, so is this game going to be realistic?" And it's kind of hard to describe. I think the best way to describe what we're going for is Simcade. Well, one rule for the whole project is that we're prioritizing fun. So if you go super realistic, you kill the fun. Like, it's not really fun to. I mean, you want to get crazy. We're getting flat tires and breaking bones, and now you've got to go to rehab. I mean, there's a limit of how realistic you want to get, and that kills the fun. So it's a video game. It needs to be fun at the end of the day. That's the biggest priority. So, realistic in a sense where we're trying to have realistic trails, realistic bikes, and realistic kind of physics and feeling. But it's going to be a lot more forgiving in areas than real life would be. Because at the end of the day, we just want to have fun. But what we're trying to do is make a realist, simulate what it feels like to be riding your bike. Not necessarily simulate everything you know, 1-to-1 for real world physics and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's meant to be an authentic mountain biking game, but you know, Simcade is how I would classify it.
Gage asks if this is Cranked Collab number 2, but a bike instead of a t-shirt. No, this is not part of the Cranked Collab series. That'll be all in-game t-shirts. That's all it's going to be, and we don't have number 2 ready quite to announce yet. This is just collabing with these guys on the bike. I mean, we're down with working with people and companies and brands of all sorts in all kinds of ways that feels cool to us. So in some cases, it'll be Cranked Collabs just because it was a fun way to do something cool for our first players.
I forgot that guy asked about Fakey, so I want to show that real quick.
Oh, there's the Fakey. Yeah, right.
So yeah.
Farter a Lotter, good name. Has something Joe's going to like. Add a vampire mode. The vampires chase you, and you got to avoid obstacles while the vampires chase you. I used to have this idea in Mad Skills Motocross called Zombie Cross. That was similar to that. That I always talked about doing. We never did it, but we talked about it.
I'm gonna go find. I'm trying to get to a different area. I don't know if that person's even still here who's talking about Fakey, but I was gonna go find a more playful area to show you some of that stuff. If anyone in chat has requests for what they want to see, you want to see the new trails, you want to see tricks, what do you want to see, and I will show you.
Let's hear it. Just want to say what's up to Super Ultra Mega Park, viewer number 1 over on TikTok. Engage is there again, and Big Juicy's back, of course, and has been around a lot. Asher, Tomas, Eli, Buster. Super stoked to have all of you hanging out with us here. Let us know if you have questions. We do our best to respond. Yeah, Volk wants to know if they're just going to gloss over Zombie Cross. See, that's what I'm saying. It was a good idea. We never did it on Mad Skills, but I always thought it would. Dana, you're still here. You can have Zombie Cross if you'd like it. Dana is here, who's does marketing for the Mad Skills games. She's hanging out with us on YouTube. Glad to have you here.
There we go. I'm in the jump section, so we can do some tricks.
Isaiah, yes, it's only mountain bikes. Ex Intma, how bad is this game? Don't know how to answer that question.
It's bad to the bone, if you want to put it that way.
Bad to the bone, yeah. Yeah, when I was a kid, bad meant good. So I don't know what you mean by that, but, you know. Fellas, I have a question for you both as you're grinding.
Yeah.
And actually for everybody listening, I want to know what you guys think. Hypothetical. If you could attend any sporting event in the world and you can kind of dictate the terms of that sporting event, like who's there, like who's competing, whatever. Any dream sporting event in the world, what would it be? Curious what our crew says about that too.
You start. So I can think of something.
Who, me or Joe?
No, not me.
Well, that's a question. You guys can take some time. We can come back to it if you need to. That's the question.
For me, it would be, I would create a climbing event where it combines men and women, because I think climbing is a unique sport where women climbers right now are basically as good as the men, which is awesome, and I love it. And I think some, like Yanya Garbrandt, I think she could beat a lot of the guys, and I would love to see her compete together with the men. So I would create a climbing competition where it's open, men and women together, and I'll pick my favorite athletes to compete against each other, and maybe throw in some like my favorite YouTubers, and maybe like a regular, regular strong climber for comparison's sake, and I think that'd be hilarious and fun to watch.
All right.
That's a good one.
What's up, Seba? Seba from the Mad Skills team is hanging out with us on YouTube as well.
CLBR asked if we have a Kanban board, and yes, I guess if you follow the links in the description somewhere, or in the Discord, if you join the Discord, there is a link to our roadmap. Right, Joe?
Yes, both in Discord and on the Patreon, we have areas where we post all the links, and you can get to our online roadmap.
And then you can vote, I think, for some stuff, or at least check out what we're working on at the moment.
Yeah, you can actually vote on anything we have in the entire backlog, and then we can see like which things have the most votes, and then we can prioritize what we want to do based on how many votes things have. And we've already been working on stuff that you guys created. You can also join the Discord. We have a feedback and a bug channel. And in there, you can actually, if you look at the pinned comment, it'll tell you exactly how to submit your feedback. But if you do it correctly, it actually ties it right into our backlog system. And then players can go vote on the things you suggested. So we've already had instances where people suggested things, put it in the Discord, people voted on it. We saw, oh, look, that's getting a lot of votes. Let's do that. And then we implemented it. So, like maybe session markers was one that we did like immediately when people requested that.
Ollie Searle in TikTok is getting a PC on Saturday, literally just to run this game, he says.
Hell yeah.
What I'm talking about. For sure, Ollie, show up on our Discord or Patreon and let us know when you're there and when you've got your setup going. And there's actually a tech channel on our Discord where people talk about their gaming rigs and all the details. If you're proud of the new rig you get, come in there and tell us about that too. Love to have you there. A number of people mentioning Descenders again. If anybody gives us a specific question about that, I'll answer it. Otherwise, if somebody just says this is Descenders, I will assume that you haven't played it yet. If you played the game, I haven't met anybody who's played this game who actually tells us it's just like Descenders, because it's not. So we'll kind of say, you know, consider actually trying it maybe before you think it's something that it's not.
That tree's gonna piss me off.
But if anybody has questions about you know, other games or how we feel about that, we'll try to answer.
Yeah, I think we'll get less of those remarks once we get the new bikes in, the new model. Once we have graphics that stand out a bit more, right? This painterly look that Maggie wants to achieve, for sure. Then people won't be like, or maybe a little, but less. That's my guess.
It's not just us though, because I've talked to other, you know, we're all talking to each other. Everyone in the community, like different indie devs, we're all talking to each other, and other game indie devs tell me, especially on TikTok, it's like a TikTok. It's the same thing. Everyone just gets in there and compares their game to every other game. So I think it's just kind of the nature of what's happening.
Yeah, just how it goes. That's true.
That's the
All right,
market.
Brian, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now I have an idea for this sport thing. You know, I'm not a big sports guy. Like I love to do snowboard and that type of stuff, but I've never was so much into sports and never watched so much sports. So it was a bit hard. And then I remember I can dictate my terms, right? Exactly. Everything I want goes. So what I would do is that, you know, the game, I'm not sure how it's called in English, but Bull, you know, when you play this...
Ball.
Yeah, like with the big, iron balls, and that you need to get closer to this smaller ball, right?
Like you can play in Orangieret in Umeå.
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly. What game you're talking about.
Is that called Bull in English?
It doesn't really exist here that I know of. I've never heard of anybody. It's kind of like bocce or something like that, but it's not this thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a big thing in France, and even bigger where I come from, you know, south of France, Marseille. So I would have that because we used to have that with my family a lot. And I would bring back my grandpa, who created a big event for the whole family, called it BOH, and died before explaining what it means. So now we're stuck with this big competition that we have every year, and we play the BOH like it's the initial, you know, and no one knows what the letters mean. So I would just want an explanation for that.
That's your answer?
Yeah, that's my answer. I got to dictate the terms.
All right.
What about you?
Well, I'll just kind of go to the community first. We got a lot of hardline, which is not going to be a surprise to anybody. You know, it's so extreme, and everybody wants to see it, and I would love to see that as well. Let's see if we got any other good answers as far as what people would like to do. Agree, Shelby. What's up, man? And it is a fantastic reading chair that baby monkey is chilling out on behind me. It's wonderful. Let's see. Lars is on here and asks if any plans to do a live stream with Maggie as we progress more toward finalized graphics. I wonder if you were here a little bit ago, Lars, when we actually unveiled the first look at the Frameworks bike. We will throw it up again here in a little bit if you haven't seen that. My answer is boring. Joe won't be surprised. Nobody who knows will be surprised. West Virginia University basketball in the national championship game. There's just nothing sports-wise. I've been to 100 races, and I love going to races. And there's a bunch I'd like to go. I want to hit mountain bike races for sure. I want to hit them on the local level. I want to hit some pro UCI stuff. I'm excited for all that. But if I had to pick one like dream event for me, that would be the pinnacle. It's WVU basketball playing for a national championship. I wouldn't even really care who we were playing against. So that's my answer. I'm a big basketball fan.
Nice.
I remember.
Any other answers in here that of people who want to talk of Super Bowl? Isaiah would like to go to the Super Bowl, and I saw Birdshaw mention the Super Bowl again, or maybe
Boring.
One race.
Just kidding.
I've been to a Super Bowl. I saw the Steelers win. Super Bowl XL beat the Seahawks in Detroit. Hopefully there are no Seattle fans here, or they'll claim it was rigged.
Tails, I don't know what you mean by you could skip that whole hit, because there's a marker up there, so unless that marker doesn't work, I mean, you have to get through that gate somehow.
DJ's asking, what's Crank's right to play and win in the action sport video game space? Do you guys understand that question? What's Crank's what's Crank's right to play and win in the action sport video game space? I don't quite get the question.
Yeah, I don't understand either.
If you could clarify that question, DJ, we'll do our best to answer it for you. The Masters, that's a good answer. I like it. Fat Daddy, thanks. Says the game's looking good. Appreciate you stopping by very much so.
Yeah, see, look, guys. Tails already hopped in and is beating me by like 8 seconds. So we're 6 seconds. So that's a difference in this game. Huge skill gap. Is the game crashing on me again? Might be crashing. Yep.
Someone asked. Good.
Yeah, Tails said also like, no, I didn't say skip the heap. One of the marker is high above ground.
We've seen that, yeah.
So that's what he meant, I guess.
Brent Goes Fast wants to go to the Daytona Supercross. I went to that a few times. I was at the Daytona Supercross one year with Chris Johnham, who was an editor at Road Racer X, and Randy Mamola. If you guys are road racing fans, you know who Randy Mamola is, and Mike Bell, who won the 1980 Supercross championship. The four of us were in a car, and we were following these motorcyclists as they were going to have these illegal drag races on the outskirts of Daytona. And we had to like follow fake leads. They would go out to try to draw police away, because we were doing a story on it for the magazine. One bike would go out and try to draw any police who were watching as a sort of a decoy, and others would slip out, and you had to figure out which ones to follow. That was fun. That was a cool thing. We actually did a story on it in a now defunct magazine called Road Racer X back in the day.
Nice. I feel like we should hit up more chat messages.
Yeah, Turborilla hanging out over on YouTube says the Stanley Cup Game 7 where the Pens would win. Makes me think maybe Dana has logged out of her personal account and into the Turborilla account over there, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds like it. To clarify, you're competing with Riders, Republic, and Descenders. What differentiates Cranked? Yeah, I've also got Mavericks and a bunch of other games. The big difference is, I mean, the main difference is the physics. I never felt like any other mountain bike game that's ever been released really simulated and felt the way I thought mountain biking feels to me when I'm out riding my real bike. Each one has their own various issues I have, and if you really want to go into crazy detail, we could, but probably not right now. So the physics are what's more different. This game doesn't feel anything like any of the other mountain bike games. Anyone who's tried them has agreed. We plan to have a big emphasis on racing, which you can see here. I don't know of any other game. I think maybe the best competitor racing-wise would be Lonely Mountains Downhill, but they're obviously like very arcadey and top-down, so it's a very different style. But I think they're the only ones that really have like proper time attack leaderboards like you would see in like a downhill style event. So we will have that. We will also have modding. We plan to have multiplayer that's done differently than what other games have done, that prioritizes having fun with your friends, being able to complete all the challenges and achievements and everything together with your friends if you want to, being able to ride easily with your friends and not have it be super frustrating, to hop into a lobby and kind of follow each other down the mountain. We'll have a big open mountain environment. Probably like 40-ish trails, bunch of things to complete, achievements and such. But, you know, and hopefully at some point we'll have like a replica downhill cranked World Cup series, like a competitive series as well. Maybe even, you know, in Mad Skills we did World Championships where we, oh man, that thing just threw me in the wrong way. You know, we flew out the 12 best players in Mad Skills and they would compete against each other live. And I mean, some of the prize pools were like 30 grand or something. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some esports stuff going in this game. So a lot of differences, but main ones would just be emphasis on racing and the physics.
Justin Cooper was one of the guys we flew out for that live stream. We had to reschedule it because he had an arena cross race scheduled at one point and it was going to make it to where he couldn't show up. That was the first one, right, Joe?
Yeah,
That Jay Cooper was part of?
You know, someone said just get Descenders. Descenders is cool, man. If you want to go free ride and do all that kind of stuff, I think Descenders is the way to go. Problem I have with Descenders is I don't think it's fun riding tech in Descenders, and I also find it very slippery. Like I've never ridden a mountain bike that was as slippery as Descenders.
I'll just kind of say one more thing about that, and then maybe we can kind of move on from that because it can so easily just take up the whole thing. But Joseph Hopkins, what's up? Thanks for hanging out on YouTube. Says, I got the game when they streamed last. Would have been a week ago. We stream every Thursday, and I've played probably a couple of hours, and I have logged a good 1,000 hours on Descenders, and this game is not at all like Descenders. He says the game's so much fun. I'm constantly finding new ways to ride the courses. Also, if any of y'all played Mad Skills Motocross, which are games that Joe and I and Dana and Seba and lots of people in our chat right now have worked on for many years, it has that whole perfect your line, restart, screw up, restart, frustration, elation sort of cycle that happened in Mad Skills. This game's really got that going on too. So did you ever feel that way in any of the other games at all, Joe, where you would have that sort of constant restart thing?
The only one is like Lonely Mountain Downhill.
Trackmania.
No, well, Trackmania too, yeah, but
yeah.
Mountain bike wise, Lonely Mountain Downhill, they nailed it. Their racing and stuff is great. Everything else, no.
Nice jump. We have a few things we want to work on today. I had mentioned earlier that Joe and I were doing some playing and working last night, and we just kept coming up with things that we wanted to talk about, and we thought, well, we're going to have Zach on today. Why don't we just do it in public? We'll just kind of have a few topics that we'll go over. Some things we haven't even talked to you about yet, Zach, so it'll be new to you. Nice. And we're going to kind of see what you think and have a conversation about it and see what anybody hanging out with us thinks as well. You guys feel like maybe diving into one of those things?
Yeah, but sure. First let's wait till I finish this run because then I think we're on a good one here. I don't want to ruin that.
Boom.
Nice.
How you looking? What's it look like?
Oh, sorry guys, I was carrying away celebrating. Let's see.
Where's the disco ball? I don't even understand what you're doing over there, man. You need lights. You need...
Do you not see the lights, dude? Look at my camera.
No.
Look at the background.
Oh, yeah, now I see them. Okay.
The lights are
a little
flashing.
bit muted. Yeah. We might need to test that a little bit more later.
Nah, it's good, and I love it. And if you don't, you can find something else you love. Siggy Stardust, I'm still in second, but I gained a little bit. Oh, yeah. Leaderboard screen. There you go. So we're getting there. All right, next topic, Brian. What did you want to talk about?
I don't know. I thought maybe we would talk about. We've been talking a lot about a free demo. And
good topic.
It's something we want to talk about. Joe has always kind of assumed we would do one eventually. Lately, I've been thinking it could potentially make sense to do one earlier. You know, we have a lot of people asking us about the game. It would be easy to answer just to say, here's a track, play it. See what you think. We stand by the game, and generally speaking, when people play it, they seem to love it. So having a demo available with just like one track that people can try would lower the barrier of entry of trying it. It wouldn't cannibalize, I think, what we're doing on Patreon because we're very aggressive over here and we're constantly adding more tracks to these builds and trying to provide real value on the Patreon side. So I don't think having a free demo would upset Patreon subscribers. This is where I'm asking you all to see what you think. But I just think it probably would just because people who play it seem to love it, I think it probably would spread pretty well through word of mouth, and it could result in more people discovering us and hanging out with us through this journey. That's the thinking, but I don't know for sure. What do you guys think? I mean, what's your take on whether or not we should do a free demo at this point? And also, Zach, a question for after that is, how would we do it? How would we limit the mountain to only say one run when right now it's just a big open mountain? Like, would we have to build borders in, or how would that be doable? How much work would it be, etc.? What do you guys think? How do you feel about a free demo, including everybody else? Let us know if you're a paying Patreon member, if us releasing a free demo with, like, say, one track would bum you out in any way.
Durek said a free demo could be beneficial because Cranked is a game you really have to feel.
Yep.
I think that's spot on, right?
Exactly.
That's the idea behind it. Like, some games, they can sell a lot through the art or the concepts, and you can look like, oh, it's a strategy game, and you're like, oh, you can guess the strategy. But here, without the controllers in your hand, it's quite hard to understand what the game is all about. So, yeah. A free demo could be super beneficial.
Sweet Ritz on TikTok agrees with you. Sweet Ritz is like, demo could be pretty cool. The game looks interesting, but yeah, I want to feel the mechanics. So I think a lot of people might feel that way, especially now while we have these placeholder graphics. I can understand why some people might bump into it if they don't, especially if you don't really focus on the physics and pay attention. You might be like, "What's up with this? Why do I want to try it?" But if there's a free demo you can try, then you can figure. And another thing, you can sit and play one trail in this game for hours easily.
Yeah.
Like, it's super easy to just start one trail,
hammer
it over and over and over again, reset. So I think even a demo with one trail would be fun for a lot of people and would let them know if this is for them or not.
Yeah, we were thinking of doing this, the Ziggy Stardust with the Prancer Stardust, whatever you called it. The combo trail, like that is the one trail you get for free. You can free ride it if you want. You can race it if you want. But I was thinking it'd be just kind of funny if you went too far off the trail, it just automatically like throws you back on the trail or yeets you back to the top or just something silly. It could be like even an invisible boundary, and if you kind of go too far, you just get tossed back.
Yeah, it's so far it's unanimous of everybody on YouTube saying they would like to see a free demo. Many of these are our most active Patreon members, so they're all just saying they just want to see it, people discover it and for it to spread. So that's good. I'm gonna look on the TikTok side and see. Yeah, I mean, here's another person. LM says JS. I'm not sure he's talking about there actually, so I don't want to comment on it. Yeah, it looks like people on TikTok, generally speaking, would love to see a free demo to try. I mean, another thing is it would just save us a little bit of time because our response to so many things could just be, well, just play it. You'll understand what's different about it, and if it's for you, cool. If not,
Yeah.
That's another thing. It would just be easier to answer the types of questions that we get so often from people who really haven't played it yet and don't sort of understand what the vision is.
What about the
What do you think,
prototype
Zach?
map? Could be a good way to get a demo out there that's completely closed.
That was the original idea, was that we'd wait like 6 months, we'd get the new bike and the new rider in third person, do all that, add that into the prototype map, and then release the prototype map with those trails as the demo. But Brian made a point that him and his skill level, which is not as good as some of the other people, he has way more fun, the most fun on Prancer than any other trail in the game. Like, that to him is the most fun and the most entertaining. So, and I think only Prancer is not good enough because Prancer doesn't have any tech on it. But if you do Prancer with Ziggy Stardust, that adds in the tech. So you get the first trail, which is kind of flowy, fun, introduce you to the game, good beginner trail, right into like a nice tech trail. So that was the reason we think this is the trail to do, not the prototype.
Hey, we got a question from Lando on TikTok. What's up, Lando? Hope you're still here. You ask, will we be adding real-world bikes to the game? As a matter of fact, Joe,
right there.
Maybe it's time real quick. If you haven't seen it yet, the first official bike that we're adding to the game, because everything you see right now is placeholder art from a game that we've been working on for between 4 and 5 months. So we're very early in this process. But we have partnered with our friends at Frameworks. We're putting their downhill bike in the game as our first bike, and Maggie, our awesome artist, is still needs to put the finishing touches on this, but this is kind of V1. It gives you an idea of what she has in mind for the level of detail of the bikes, etc. And hopefully it's the first of many real world bikes we put in to answer your question. But yeah, we are. In fact, one real world bike will be in the game hopefully within 2 weeks or so for Patreon subscribers.
Oh, Hodge is here. Hey, Hodge, we added a feature that you requested last week. In-air rotation assist. I don't know if this is how you wanted it, but let's talk about it live here in front of people. So probably here, I'll try it on this jump. So now like it kind of auto. Oh man, let's do Prancer's got better jumps. So I will not use the left stick in the air now, and you tell me if this is how you wanted it. I feel like is it working?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's working.
Makai's like, what's up with these two brake levers?
But it tilts you a little bit. The other thing you can do, like, look, if I tilt away, so all I did was tilt away. I'm not tilting back. I'll do it again here. So I'll move like 90 degrees to the left, and I won't move back, and you'll see it automatically move back. Watch. Just slowly kind of put you back. So it does it both yaw and pitch. I don't know if that's kind of like, watch here, if I lean back, it kind of automatically puts me back forward. So that was the thing we added based on your feedback last week. But let me know if that's kind of what you were thinking or if you thought something different. The build's available now too, so you could try yourself and tell me what you think. But there's an example of us listening to people's requests.
Yeah, Farfy's asking repeatedly on shotgun approach how this is different than Descenders. We've answered it so many times in this show already. You could probably just scroll up in the comments and see an answer, but it doesn't really feel anything like it. The physics are very different. The way that you play it's very different. This game is only four or 5 months into the prototype phase, and you're seeing almost all exclusively placeholder art. So you kind of have to play it a little bit. Maybe some people on TikTok who are actually playing it can answer Farfy's question about why this is different than Descenders. It doesn't play anything like it.
I mean, there was a guy like 10 minutes ago that commented and said he's got like 1,000 hours in Descenders and he plays this and they don't feel anything alike, and that this game is very fun. So that was from a player, not from us. So, I've been riding bikes my whole life, and I just wanted something that felt better to me personally. So we're kind of just making what I think feels like a great game, and so far the feedback we've had from the community is that they think it feels good too.
Hodge, let's talk a little bit more about the demo idea we're talking about. Hodge says free demo, and when we talk about Hodge, everybody, we're talking about Michael Hodge, who made Chasing the Dream. Was working on Chasing the Dream, the motocross game for PC, and is working on a different project now, which is unveiled officially, as far as I know, not unveiled, right, Joe? Like there's no name for that or anything.
I don't know if he's officially announced the name for it, but I know he's got. Okay. If you look at LCQ Studios on social media, he's posting stuff. He's been posting whips lately and stuff like that.
That's who Hodge is when we talk about him. Another game designer, very talented guy who makes action sports games. He says, of course now I lost it, but he was talking about the prototype, and his point was free demo on the proto map would be cool. No leaderboards, open world, and full features in the Patreon builds. Does that make sense to everybody? Do you think that there should be no leaderboards? Would they be missing anything? Would people who get a hold of the game miss the thing that makes this amazing if we didn't have leaderboards?
I think you gotta have a leaderboard. I think limiting it to like one track with a leaderboard gives you the feel of the way the game works and kind of the at least the core loop of the racing mechanic. I think without it's not as addicting.
What's your take on that, current players? Would you be okay if we did leaderboards for a prototype map? Prototype trail?
Yeah, I think we should do leaderboard. I agree, right?
Oh, that was a weird line.
Otherwise, you're missing on part of the I guess a demo. The idea behind the demo is to get you a vertical slice.
Yeah.
What we mean by that is like a full chunk of content that gives you what the game is about, and then that makes you want to actually discover much more of the game, because you'd be like kind of frustrated to only have that one map, that one track, that one leaderboard, right? That's the idea. So I think if we don't have leaderboard, people might miss on the racing aspect of the game, like the competition and stuff. Though as soon as we have the demo, I guess more people will play the game than ever before. That's my guess, and I hope it's going to be the case. The leaderboard is going to get huge, and I think it's not going to be as nice then to place yourself on the leaderboard. It's going to be a bit less meaningful, right? So I think we should find ways to keep leaderboards relevant when we have more than 1,000 entries.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah. Makai's got a good point. He suggests, a separate leaderboard for a demo. So the demo has its own leaderboard, but it doesn't mix with that trail. If there's a leaderboard for it in the Patreon build as well, that way it kind of keeps them separate. That would be a potential approach. I hadn't thought of before. Thanks.
I kind of like them being combined, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I think both could be nice, but anyway, as we get more players into even the navigation of leaderboards, I think we need something to keep them engaging for the average players.
Yeah, but that's not an issue just with the demo. I mean, at some point the game's going to be released, and that's still an issue. So we need to fix it one way or the other.
Exactly. It's just, I think with the demo, it's going to suddenly be something, right? But yeah, it's not specific to the demo at all.
Oh, man,
Bex, good to see you back. Wants to know if there is a new build out today. Joe, you pushed it live already, right? Everywhere except Linux?
Yeah, builds live. Mac and PC's up. Mac and Windows.
So yes, Bex, you can grab it now. Two
we gotta
new
fix
trails.
This crash. Get it like 10 times the stream. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, I think leaderboards, man. Obviously, I want friend leaderboard when we have Steam built in and all that. I think that'll be the main leaderboard I'll care about, is like having my Steam friends and looking at them. But we could probably do some simple stuff too, and just do like a region-based one. If there's
buckets. What about buckets, right? Interesting.
I mean, the buckets need to be meaningful. If you're just randomly putting people in buckets, I don't think that's interesting.
It's more like you get some sort of a ranking, so you can be first in the bronze. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's probably more like the cranked cup mode that I want to do, but that comes at like 1.0.
I'm super pumped. Tobias Anderson is hanging out with us on YouTube. You guys have heard us talking about him before. He's one of our partners, one of the founders of this company. He was a founder of Turborilla and Mad Skills. Tobias is the guy who invented Mad Skills Motocross initially, created the first physics. In my view, made an unparalleled racing physic on mobile that nobody has ever done a better job of, other than maybe us. I think when it comes to a racing physic, motorcycle physic on mobile games, I think Mad Skills games are the best ever. And Tobias is here, and he's the guy who made all that stuff. He likes the idea of a demo, Joe.
Yeah, nice.
See,
well, then it's got to be good.
Now we're actually working in public, because we actually talked about this with our community on YouTube before we talked about it on Tobias, and he heard about it on the stream and chimed in on it. So this is how we roll here.
But I think even if all it is a demo with a global leaderboard, I mean, I still think seeing yourself on a global leaderboard, even if it's huge, a couple thousand people or whatever, like, still think that's fun.
Yep. Hey, quick on TikTok, thanks for hanging out with us. Will things be customizable? Yeah, things will be customizable. We're not going to get into bike setup customization to where you have to tune your bike, changes the performance. We don't think that's going to be a part of it. But as far as being able to display your own style, etc., yeah, there's already a way, actually. Last week we did our first cranked collab. It's a thing that we're doing through the development process for some amount of time anyway, where we collaborate with different brands, bike shops, bands, whoever. We're kind of feeling it and think would be a cool collaboration. And we're making an in-game t-shirt that you can reserve in a 72-hour window. We don't have Cranked Collabs 002 announced yet, but soon. So we'll be doing the next one of those soon, and everybody will have a chance to reserve that for free if you would like to. So that's the first version of that we have. But yeah, eventually we want to do lots of customization so people can kind of do their thing and show their style.
But Zach, if we would do, let's say we just did do a demo with one trail on this map, do you have any ideas of solutions on how to prevent people from roaming around to the other trails?
Do we want them to not access the trails at all, or do we want them not to race them?
Nah, not you can't. You can only go down one trail. That's it.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah, I know. That's why we wanted to talk to you about it today. Like we were like, how would you do it?
My brother is on the chat too, and he suggested you're riding a ticking time bomb bike. It could like tick down if you exit the track. I don't know. Otherwise, put in like invisible walls or something like that. That's gonna feel a bit wonky. I don't know. I guess one way to have it more like relevant. I think one way to do it is that as you exit Prancer or Prancy Stardust, you get like some sort of your screen goes a bit gray or something noisy, and then the demo stops or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you could just turn the screen gray and say like, go back to trail area, and if they don't do it in a certain amount of time, it resets them at the top.
Yeah. But I would feel better about sending in a modified map that only shows that track for sure.
Yeah.
That's why the prototype idea was really good, because it was really contained, you know.
Yeah, and we could. I think Fika's a good beginner trail. Maybe we tweak it so those jumps at the end get removed or are different or something. I feel like that's the only thing that really made that track hard. But I don't know. Brian just feels really strongly that Prancer's just so much more fun.
It's fun for me. I mean, to me, it's super easy to get into, and you find this flow that's awesome in it. That doesn't mean that it's, that's just the one that I like. You guys will figure out what track you should do. I'll trust you in the end for sure.
So some people got good ideas there. McKay said, detect track failed, and then set itself to automatically go back to start. So maybe for lock you into race mode. That's not a bad idea, actually. I think if the demo is just race mode off Prancer, and as soon as you fail the track,
that could work.
It exits. That could be interesting. But the way you fail a track, right, is by skipping one of the track boundaries.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah, so it wouldn't work super well because you could just exit the track and it wouldn't detect fail before you get back in the track. So
right.
Because you have to pass through a gate correctly after you missed a gate for it to fail.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how we detect it right now.
Hodge says, map the trail to a texture mask, and if the player goes out, reset them. For instance, trail can be white and out of bounds black. Then map player position to it in world coords. Does that mean anything to you, Zach? World coords? I don't know what that voodoo means.
Yeah, but I mean, we have many ways to detect if you're away from the map or not, from one specific track or not. So it's not that I'm so concerned about, not necessarily the technique, but more like how to keep it relevant and intuitive inside of the demo. That's more like that. Like how do we convey to the player what he can or can't do in a clean way?
Well, let's ask the regulars, the Patreon members now, if we gave away the entire prototype map as a demo, how would you guys feel about that? You guys cool with that, or does that feel like we're giving away too much and you're not getting your money's worth anymore? Obviously, we'll keep expanding on this.
One thing about us kind of prioritizing a prototype compared to where we were before is it wasn't really a part of the plan. And we're trying to not be super disruptive. I mean, we need to be nimble and make changes as we go. But if we do the prototype thing, if there's a way to do it without adding a ton of extra work, as opposed to, creating some new thing just in the prototype that we didn't have before, it's nice if we can make it simple. So we'll always try to factor that in, like keep this thing doable and not open up a can of worms while also changing our plan. That can get frustrating to people. So I like when we have ideas that are like, this would actually be technically simple to pull off. I think there's something to be said for that. I'm going to do a kind of a rapid fire on some TikTok over here. I'm having a hard time getting to these comments, but some of these are going to be quick questions I'll post to you guys as we go. So if you're on TikTok hanging out with us, stick with us. We're going to go through your comments right now. 13 says, please don't make the body like MX bikes. I don't want amputated arms. We know. Joe, talk a little bit about the challenge of that, but also what you hope happens.
Yeah, I mean, the reason you see a lot of games with amputated arms and things like this is because of where the camera's actually placed in like world space or whatever you'd call it. Like right now, this camera's probably like inside the rider's body. So if you actually like rendered out the whole entire body, you wouldn't be able to see anything because you'd just see the inside of his chest cavity. Obviously, we can try to change it and make it more like a GoPro view where it's like it simulates it being like on his chest and a wider FOV. So there's things we need to do. But I know the arms look janky. This is all placeholder stuff. But once we get our own models in here, we will fix it up and try to make it look as good as possible. And if possible, do a view that's more like a GoPro view and doesn't actually cut off any body or limbs. But sometimes you want to adjust your FOV, and if you adjust it past certain limits, how to just miss the last thing, it's going to mess with stuff. So it's like, do you want more freedom in FOV and where you place your camera, or do you always want the rider to like be solid and not have invisible things?
Thanks for the question, 13. I'm going to try to go a little more rapid fire moving forward. Geyser says, will there be any famous tracks? We hope so. We did that quite often in the Mad Skills games that we have all worked on for most of our careers. It's fun to do. We would like to do that, but we're too early in our development right now. We haven't talked about that with anybody yet. We hope so. Will the game be on Steam? Yeah, it should be wish listable here soon. We are in the process of getting our Steam page approved. As soon as that's ready, we'll kind of spread the word that it's ready to go as far as wish listing is concerned. And if we do build a demo, a free demo, that would be on Steam, right, Joe?
Yep.
Okay, cool. My Yamaha guy, YZ Jet, is here. What's up, buddy? Thanks for coming by. He's the one who asked the question about Steam. So Hayden wants to know, are you guys going to add some sort of G-force system, kind of like in Steep? I don't know if you've played that yet, Joe. I know you've been meaning to.
I don't know if I ever played Steep, but I have played... Is it Shredders that like came off of Steep? Same studio? I don't know. So no, I don't know what you're referring to, honestly.
G-force system. Do you know what that means, Zach?
We calculate the G-force of the bike to every
right.
frame, and if you cross a certain threshold, you crash. So I don't know if that's what is meant by the G-force system. Maybe something else. I don't know. It's not super clear. Got to admit.
Ant Grass is up in the house on the YouTube side of things. He's the guy who's designed all these tracks. What's up, Cedric? If y'all are hanging out on YouTube and you have any track design questions, Ant Grass is hanging out over there. I think he'll probably pay attention to the comments and so forth. Tobias says, if we want to make a more restricted demo, the 60-second timer idea that resets you at the start of Fika could work and would be easy. That's Tobias's take.
Yeah,
Tobias always brings pragmatism to these things.
So Duck had a good point. Just before, it's like the open world is where most of the changes now are being made. And he feels it's wrong to give Francis Stardust for free because it's too good.
Yeah. That's true. I do think there's an argument for just doing the prototype map. It's a fun little enclosed environment. You've got a few trails to do. We can even update the demo in the future when we have the new bike and rider model and all that. But then it's like, look, if you want any of the new stuff, the bigger trails, the longer trails, the open world, eventually we're going to have like challenges and like the whole career mode thing, and all that stuff's going to be added into this map, and we'll never touch the prototype map. So, the prototype will be a little sample of gameplay, but it's not really going to be a proper vertical slice because it won't have all that other stuff. But it would be a good gameplay demo.
Yeah, but how's that going to feel in 3 months or 6 months when this game looks totally different and looks way better, and we're looking at the prototype map and we're like, man, that's jank now. Like, I don't even know if I want that to represent who we are because it doesn't look like that anymore.
It's a good point too. Then that's an argument to keep the demo on a trail on this map, because as this map updates, the demo would be updated as well. See, these are the things we talk about internally, and today we're like, let's just do it on the live stream.
Yeah, that's why it's actually a meeting. We were like, well, we'll just do the live stream and we'll have this is the first of a few topics today, by the way. So we're going to roll a few more things out. That's nice because we're getting everybody's feedback in real time. It's killer. Like, it seemed to me like a lot of people felt like we should be doing, what did Tails say about what track he wanted to see? He's made a comment a minute ago. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach chat too. Sorry if I don't play all the time, guys. It's like, I don't know.
Prancy Stardust, yeah, right.
I
Tails
wanna
thinks
monitor
Prancy
chat.
Stardust should be the track people can play.
Yeah. I think it shows a good variety. That's the other thing of like, yeah, I don't know. It just has a good variety. It feels more realistic in the style of the tracks compared to the prototype tracks. That would be my vote, is that this one. Obviously right now it's our favorite trail and we've only got what? 1, 2, 4 trails on this map, but dude, in a month from now there'll probably be another 2, 3 more trails. Every month we're gonna be adding like three trails, hopefully. So it won't be long until there's way more than what's in the demo.
Yeah.
Are you still doing rapid fire comments here, Brian? Or are we doing?
Yeah, I'm still hammering. So we've got Texas MX 53. What's up? Another moto guy over here. Where can I find the website so I can get the game? I'll answer this for anybody else who's joined us. The way you can play Cranked immediately is to support us on Patreon. If you go to Patreon and you search for Cranked, or you can find the link in all of our bios, you can subscribe. You can subscribe for free, and you'll kind of understand what we're going for and see a lot of our updates. But if you get the lowest paid tier or better, and the lowest tier is $5 a month, you will get a month of demos. Everything that we create, you'll get. We do multiple updates in a month. We're aggressive and we're moving fast. Pretty common these days to have an update every week, it seems like. And you get to keep them forever. So even if you only subscribe for 1 month at $5, all the updates that you get during that time, you'll have them. You can keep playing them if you're having fun with them. Also, if it accumulates to $50 total over time, you get a Steam key to buy the game, so you can kind of pay for it in installments over time, while also being a part of this in the public development process that we're going through right now. So that's the answer to can you get it. You cannot currently get it on Steam. Soon you'll be able to wish list this on Steam, hopefully within a couple of days, and we'd love for you to do that for sure, but not yet. Right now you can only get the game on Patreon. But we were just talking about a possible free demo a little bit ago, which would allow people to get it on Steam and try it first. Cool. Let's see if there's any other quick questions here. Guys, if I missed your question, it's not personal. I have a hard time focusing sometimes. Ask these dudes. So if I miss anything, just got to ping me. Just tell me that I missed it. It's never intentional. Unless it's like, you guys are just descenders. Why would I play your game? We get that, and I don't really know what to say to it anymore, frankly. So I might not respond to that. But if you have legitimate questions about that stuff, we'll respond to it if we can. Just hit us up. Ooh. Ollie asks on YouTube. Ollie, I'm glad to see you hanging out with us. Has it been discussed about adding a small amount of tricks? I know they mentioned to focus on downhill racing. That one's you, Joe.
Yeah, we want to do tricks. I'll try to keep it short, but yeah, we want to do tricks. Right now you can do scrubs, whips, flips, spins, wheelies, manuals. Some people kind of figured out a way to make tabletops look kind of okay, and we might tweak that a little bit. So those kind of tricks are in here now, but we do have plans in the future to add tricks. If this game is a success, it would probably be something we'd add after 1.0. We have an idea on how to do it, and it'd be a fun little collab with someone else that I think is amazing. But yeah, it's in the plans.
Nice. Couple quick ones. I'm going to respond to T and Reese. Nice to see you guys over here. Is it going to be on console? Not soon. We're in the prototype stage of PC. We haven't even made it into the alpha phase of development of this game yet. So it's about 4.5 months in, 5 months. I don't know. I'm losing track of time, but we want to bring this thing to consoles. That's the plan. But we need to get it right on PC first. We're starting on PC, and if things go well and it works, we're going to focus on console after that, and Xbox and PlayStation for sure. All right, I think I'm mostly caught up over here. We're getting another 52 welcome. Wants to know again what's the difference from Descenders. We answered this a number of times already. It doesn't feel anything like it. We're going for a much more racing vibe. It feels more grounded. It's not slippery when you ride it. It just doesn't feel the same at all. Anybody who plays this would, we had a guy earlier comment that he had 1,000 hours in Descenders, and this is nothing like it. In some ways it looks like it now because we have all these placeholder Unity graphics in the game, but as we develop the look of the game, I think it'll start to become more apparent what we're going for. All right, I think we're mostly caught up over here. If I missed anything, just ping me, and I will get to it.
What was the next
And
topic? Did we
real quick,
did
a
we,
good question from
yeah,
Mike,
go
and
ahead.
then we'll move on. Joe is Mike says, "Is it only first person?" Really good, because I saw somebody else ask about third person earlier, and I missed that. It's first person initially. That's what Joe wanted to start with, and we want to get that right before we. And also, we wanted to have a good looking bike in the game and rider before we focus on third person. We are going to be working on third person. It's on the roadmap. If you look at it, and you'll see that it's there. Tobias in a call with us a couple of weeks ago kind of got us aware of the level of challenge that going the third person route can be. So we're taking him seriously, and we understand that it's not going to be an easy thing to solve. Zach, I don't know if we've actually had a conversation with you about that. Tobias was a little bit worried, like it could be tough to pull. Tobias, if you're still here, you could let us know kind of what your initial feeling was about why that's challenging. But it did get me to thinking third person is not going to be some easy thing to add. Like we might have to work that, and it might be hard to make it as good as we want it to be. What do you think about that, Zach?
Yeah, I think the same. And I don't know if you remember, guys, but I was quite concerned about that too from the beginning, and I wanted us to focus on first person only and almost never show the game in third person, even during development, because it could steer us away from a good first person game. I want third person to be in the game for sure. Like, I don't think the game would feel complete without it. But the thing is that you get away with a lot of stuff in first person because you're not seeing the bike in its entirety and how it reacts to every bump and stuff. So right now, for example, there's a lot of clipping happening in the wheels, in the ground, that gets masked by the first person view. And that is gonna get tricky to fix. Not impossible. I have a few ideas, but yeah, definitely a big challenge. And also, just outside of that, you know, when it comes to racing games, the difference it makes in the sensation between first and third person is so big. It's so big, and getting those two cameras, like getting a good camera is tricky, and getting two good cameras is extremely tricky to get this same sensation between the two. Like, you know, like the sense of speed can be quite lost when you go to third person.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a challenge, right? Of course, I'm aware of that, and I'm kind of like hyped about it too, because it's gonna be a fun challenge. And as soon as we get the new bike and rider model, I'm gonna get working on that. So
right on. My take on that is I just think we should talk about the challenge as we're doing it. Let everybody know what we're trying to solve, what we're going through, what's working and what's difficult, and make it kind of clear, you know, how big of a deal it is to pull it off. I think if we're open and honest about that, it'll be interesting to people, and they'll kind of understand if it takes us longer than we hoped, or if we're struggling with it or whatever, they'll kind of understand why.
Yeah.
My take on that.
I mean, we will have it anyway, right? I don't think any of us guys will feel like skipping on third person at all, right? It's been part of the plan. We're gonna have it one way or another. So
I'm
Thanks
excited
for the
for
follow, San Fran 49ers and Eddie. Appreciate you guys. Go ahead, Joe.
I was just saying I'm excited for it, but I know it'll be a challenge. And you know, you guys off the start, it might be a little janky, and we'll be honest with you guys and open, and you guys can help us test it. You guys can give us ideas on how to make it less janky, and you know, but the plan is try to make this game look as steezy and nice as possible.
But one good thing about third person that I really look forward to is that I think it's gonna solve also some jankiness in first person, because as we will be able to see the bike in third person and fix a lot of the jankiness that we see there, then first person will also get much better by side effects. So I'm quite hyped about that too.
Brandon Ford on TikTok, welcome. Fair question. He says, no hate intended, but do you believe your game is going to be competing with Descenders or Riders Republic? Thanks for hanging out with us. I have an answer for that. I think if you've played this game, it's something. We've got something going on over here. It's its own thing. It's not like those games. Is it going to sell as many copies as those things? I don't know, man. The way I see it is not so much are we going to compete with those as much as I think of it as like, are we going to do well enough to stay in business and keep making the game? We don't need to be bigger and better than any other game. We're not really developing that way. We're just trying to bootstrap, be smart about how we spend money, be careful about it. It's self-funded. We're the people that are funding this game. Most of us are on this call right now or in the chat, and we're just trying to make it as good as we can. My philosophy, if you've played this game, is that it's good. It's really good, and it's super insanely fun. And people who play it are going to tell their friends about it, and word of mouth is going to really work in this game. And if we just focus on making it amazing, every decision is about, is it good? Are we making the game better? It's going to fuel that, and people will talk about it over time. And if we combine that with being smart about how we spend money, not trying to solve everything in the world, doing one thing at a time and making smart decisions, and don't fall into dumb traps, we don't have to compare ourselves to other games. We just need to have a positive return on investment so we can stay in business and keep this thing going. That's my take. Anybody else have a response to that question?
Yeah, I mean, my response is that I mean, I've been part of this community and playing these games my entire life. Like all I care about my whole life, basically action sports, games. So I've been playing all these, and as a game designer for the last 13 years. When I'm playing these games, my game designer brain's still working in the background, and it's like, ooh, I would do this differently. I would do that differently. I would like this a little. So really, this game is a lot of just like my vision of what I think a mountain biking game should feel like, should look like, how it should play. And it will be different than all of those other games. Some people will like it better. Some people will like the other ones better. But it's another option to have in the mountain bike community. Do I think we'll compete directly with some of those? Like, I think Riders Republic is a different vibe, and I think the players that'll play that's a different audience than the players that'll play this. There might be some overlap. But yeah, I'm not really concerned with like Brian said, being the best or being, competing directly against them and like who sold more copies or anything. Like, we just want to make a game that is successful on our side of things. And, we're all putting our own savings into this. If we didn't believe in it, we wouldn't be dumping, all of our savings into this thing. So we think it's fun. We know it's fun. People are telling us it's fun, and we're just going to keep going with it, have fun with it, and make the most fun mountain bike game we possibly can and see where it ends up.
That's it. What's up, Tony? The game is called Cranked. It's the same as the username of our channel, Cranked Game. That's the name of the game. So you can check it out on Patreon if you wanna play. You can subscribe at the $5 or better a month rate, and you will get the prototype. Every prototype that we do for the month that you are subscribed, which is typically multiple updates. I would say you can expect 2 or 3 over the course of a month based on the way we've been pacing lately. And you get to keep them forever. Once you get one, you get to keep it. We're going to be adding the Frameworks bike as our first real artwork to the game, and the first in-game brand that will be in the game. The first new bike that doesn't look like a janky piece of crap like you have in the game right now. You'll have that. And you'll get to, like I said, you'll get to keep those builds if you subscribe. And over time, if you accumulate a total of $50 of support for us on Patreon, you will get a key for the final game. So it's kind of like you're paying for it over time in installments. That is the deal. And console eventually. We're doing it on PC right now, but we'll do it eventually on console. You guys want to move on to the next
topic,
the next matter of business today?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure. All right. So the other thing Joe and I have been talking a lot about, because Joe and I spend a lot of time talking. I don't know if you guys know that, but we always have, and I guess we always will probably, is modding. We've been talking a lot about modding. And I'm curious, I have some questions because I don't really understand that side of things very well. So I'd kind of like to understand from Zach how big of a job it's going to be when we add modding, how difficult that's going to be, how much time you think, whatever, however you want to answer the question, but help me understand as a person who doesn't program what that's going to mean to add that to the roadmap. But also, initially, should I talk about the Patreon thing now and how it fits into that, Joe, you think?
Yeah, I think that's that's
kind of the point,
the
right?
main thing. Yeah.
So
Dylan, I'm going to get to your question after this.
You want to answer it real quick before we dive in? Because this could take a minute. Why don't you
Yeah,
do that, Joe, and then we'll
Dylan
kind of
just-
jump into this.
Dylan asked if the graphics are going to stay like this or we'll update them. This is all super early, but I switched to this map because this map has the graphics that are a little further along, but I know Maggie, our artist, still wants to change them. So yes, the vibe will be similar, like a cozy, warm, colorful, beautiful, welcoming vibe that's kind of artistic. Yes, it'll be like that, but it will be updated a lot from this. All right, go ahead, Brian.
Cool, awesome. I will say let's jump into this modding and how modding is going to work. Initially, we had it on one of the higher Patreon tiers because when you're setting it up, you're trying to figure out when you're setting up Patreon, you got to figure out how to do it. Like, what are we going to do that makes each of these levels of Patreon different? You want to have something that makes the game accessible to people so they don't have to spend a ton of money and they can play, but they can still give us support. That's where the $5 tier came in, and we knew early we definitely wanted the prototype to be a part of the lowest cost tier. But then we had put modding in one of the higher tiers with the general idea, Joe. I think you were thinking that there wouldn't be as many people doing it, so it would give us an opportunity to kind of debug it, figure out what's working before we rolled it out to too many people, etc. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
I'm going to just be real honest about a comment I read at one point somewhere. I think it was on Reddit at one point, which will lead us to another topic later. But I'll just tell you something that somebody said that stuck with me. They were like, so they're going to charge more so that people can make content for their games. And I just got to be honest with you. It kind of stuck with me a little bit because the truth is, if we have great modders as a part of the community building tracks for us through the development process, it adds great content to the game. It creates a reason for people, more things for people to do, more depth to the game. So I started to feel a little uncomfortable. I mean, we still need to kind of have a paid tier, and we need to. You won't even have the game if you're not supporting us on Patreon. So it's got to be a paid level. But I don't know that we should be gating modding behind one of the more expensive levels. That's kind of what the devil's advocacy that I dropped, and we wanted to talk about with everybody. Joe, do you have anything else to say about that before we kind of ask the crew?
No, I think you summed it up good.
So right now we have a $5 tier, a $10 tier, a $25 tier, and then the double black diamond $100 tier that we've had one subscriber for. Is that right?
Yes.
And the idea was that we were going to put modding behind what tier?
The $25 tier. It's currently in the $25 tier, and the only difference between the $25 tier and the $10 tier is that the $25 tier gives you early access to modding, or the $10 tier doesn't. Yeah.
So I guess the question I'll pose for the community, and this will give us a chance to read, because I think I'm still figuring out how I feel about it. I'd like to know, Zach, if you have a take on this too, but I'll pose to the community real quick is, I mean, what do you all think? Do you think it should be, if we change tiers, we'll have to figure out how to differentiate them, which is fine. We can figure out something else. Should we drop modding to the $10 tier? Should the modding be in the $5 tier? And if you have access to the game and you're interested in modding, you should be able to mod. What's the right thing to do there? And do you have any ideas of what else we could offer in different Patreon tiers if we need to do some shuffling to differentiate from one to the other? Because one thing that's very important to us is that every tier brings value to people. Like we think the way Patreon can work well is if you're subscribing, you're getting more value than you're pledging. If we do that, I think we'll have a lot of great retention where people hang out with us over the long term. So long way to ask a question. What do you guys think? Should we lower it and put it into one of the first tiers?
That I think is good from Gage Tuna is saying, are you talking about access to modes, ability to mode, or both? And I think it's good that we clarify that.
Oh, really good point.
Quick.
Oh, it's the ability to actually download the mod kit and do the mods yourself, not access the mods.
So anyone would be able to access the mods.
Yes.
Anyone with the paid,
yeah,
with the prototype, right? Yeah.
So tier 3 right now. Okay, so I should have made it so that I could have put up a web browser and just visually show you guys the tiers. But
why don't you put the framework spike up in the background while you talk about this? That way we can all just look at it with stars in our eyes. Okay.
Yeah, so the first tier is basically giving you access to the game, plus all of like the dev blogs, all that kind of stuff. That's $5. $10 adds in. We're gonna make an exclusive gear set to anyone who subscribed to the $10 tier for at least a month during the campaign. So when the game comes out, you'll get an exclusive gear set there. That's the difference. The big upgrade from $5 to $10. The upgrade from $10 to $25 is adding in early access to modding tools. The way it stands now. And then the big upgrade from the $25 tier to the $100 tier is you get to name an in-game trail, and you get a 30-minute private call with me. Whatever you want to do on that call, we'll do. So if you want to talk game design and give me your feedback on the game, or you want to just race each other, or you want to just chit chat about life, whatever, you get that too. Maybe you're into game development and you just want to talk about the industry and things like that. Cool. So those are the big differences. So it's like $5, you get the game. Another $5 at the $10 tier, you get, what did I say? You get exclusive in-game item, $25 tier, early access to modding, $100 tier, name a trail, 30-minute call with me. That's how it's set up now. Like Brian said, we don't like the idea of locking modding thing to it, like to pay or to get early access to that. It seems that comment
just doesn't feel
resonated
right,
with both Brian and I. The guy who said, "Hey, that doesn't feel right." We agree. So we want to remove that and make it so that anyone on the Patreon is going to get the modding tools at the same time. As soon as they're ready, you guys can all start modding. But then the $25 tier isn't special anymore. It's basically the same thing as the $10 tier. So we either delete the $25 tier, or we wanted to discuss with you guys, is there anything that you would like to see into a $25 tier? Something that would be interesting. We've talked about ideas of like having a t-shirt somewhere. Like if we get t-shirts printed for cheap and afford to put it in one of the tiers, maybe that'd be the $100 tier. I don't know. That's an option. I don't know. Patreon doesn't like you giving away physical items, I don't think, but we could probably get away with it. But anyway, that's kind of the gist. So you guys let us know in the comments what you think we should do. Just delete the tier or what? I don't know.
Yep. Nightmare Called Earth. I see your comment, and we'll approach that here shortly.
Anyone giving us ideas yet?
Yeah, Aaron had an idea that some people are getting some feedback on. Is that what you were going to mention, Zach?
Yeah, I think it was a good one, right? Like,
Take it.
Yeah, Aaron said maybe it's not about your tier, but how long you've been in Patreon and how involved you've been. So if we kind of map that to tier, maybe we could do the same as, if you spend more than X bucks, then you get access to it. So I think that would be kind of fair, right? So people, if they've been there supporting us for long, they get access to the modding tools, whatever tier they are on.
Yeah.
So I think for me that would be a fair way to look at it.
Then do we change the other things too? Like, do we change the exclusive in-game item to just be anyone who spent $10 total on Patreon?
I don't know. But I like it. I like those ideas of like the people who've been there for a little bit of time, they get something exclusive.
Uh-oh.
What you guys think about this idea?
Yeah, I mean, I like it, but it's a little harder to manage. I think we got to think about like how Patreon works and how it's set up. I think it's okay, but
yeah.
My general feeling is that opening modding up to anybody who's paid is probably the way to go, and we need to rethink the other tiers and find compelling things that make it worth it for people to subscribe to them. That's my general feeling about it. Just because someone else mentioned that it's such a symbiotic relationship, and I agree with that. If we have a vibrant modding community, that's going to be good for players. It's going to be good for the game. It's just going to increase content. I mean, obviously, you'll have to do some moderation of content, and some of it will be better than others. But as long as we have a good discovery portal of some kind, and the good stuff can come to the top, then really modders help. So I kind of hate to like gate that behind more expensive levels of support.
I like Captain Jack's idea. $25 tier. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Joe. Yeah, Oli is onto something, saying that modding is also a bit of a niche thing.
Yeah.
So it's not everyone who's able, or wants to boot up Unity and load up the modding kit and that type of stuff. So I think it's a good call to actually just release it to as many streams as possible.
Yeah,
So,
probably fewer than 1% of all players will mod, I would guess.
Exactly. So I think that's a pretty good call to not lock it behind higher gates.
I almost think, and I guess there's a question for you, Zach. If I had the mod kit but not the game, could I make mods and submit them without owning the game?
Yeah, for sure.
Because
I think many games do it like that, actually. Like, you can have the modding kit without owning the game.
Because in that case, I think all Patreon tiers get early access to mod tools. But then when the mod tools are done, almost have the mod kit available to anyone, even outside of Patreon. Because what we really want is the community to start making mods. Like, the more mods we have, the better the game gets. So if you could download the mod kit without owning the game, just open it up to everyone. Patreon gets it first. They help us dial it in, make it good, and then we just like put it up on our website. You could download it there, make mods, submit it. I'm sure, I don't know. That seems interesting to me.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
I need to hit the bathroom.
I'm
You
sure.
guys talk. I'll be right back.
Okay, I think we'll continue that discussion on the Discord and Patreon. More about that later. We just kind of wanted to float it to start getting some feedback on that. I'm going to kind of respond to a nightmare called Earth. Cool username, by the way. I like that. He said, first of all, you ask what engine this was built in. It's built in Unity. We made the Mad Skills Motocross, Mad Skills BMX, Mad Skills Snowcross, all those mobile games. We did them all in Unity. It's just what we're the most used to. Zach, it's what Zach felt like you could do the best work in. Basically, right, Zach? He thought it was the right tool for the job.
Yeah, definitely. And when it comes to physics-based games, I think Unity is superior right now.
And then, so I want to kind of go back to something that Nightmare Called Earth said. I have a take on it. Joe's not here, so he won't hear it, but I don't want to put it off anymore. It says, do you have any concerns about having paid playtesters and the game not coming to fruition for a full release? Most devs pay people to playtest as they are providing a service. I hear the take, and we've been making games for a long time. We don't see our community as playtesters. We don't ask people. We don't have expectations of anybody who's playing the game. We don't have, if you support us on Patreon and you play, you could not interact with us in any way. It doesn't make any difference. We don't have expectations of people. But we've been very honest from the beginning what we're doing here, that we're self-funded and that we don't have a huge runway to fund this game, so that we need to find another way to make it happen. It's kind of what Patreon is designed for. It's not a super innovative idea that we're doing. We're using a platform that was built sort of for this purpose. But to answer your question, do I have any concern? To be honest, it hasn't dawned on me that we might not release this game. I think we're going to release this game one way or the other. Joe's back. I want to kind of bring him into this question Nightmare Called Earth asks, a fair one. He says, do you have any concerns about having paid playtesters and the game not coming to fruition for a full release? Most devs pay people to playtest as they are providing a service. My view is that we don't have expectations of anybody. We're opening it up, and we want to hear what people say if they have something to say, but there are no expectations. If you're paying play testers, you have expectations. You give them specific things you want them to test. You sort of direct that process to get an outcome from them. We're not doing that. We love to hear feedback from people when we get it, but we don't have those expectations. And also, Patreon is a thing, and we have been clear about what we're trying to do from the beginning, that in order to make this thing work, we don't have enough runway to get this thing released fully. Patreon might help us do that. Our view is, as long as we are always aware that we're providing real value for anybody who supports us, and we're listening to people, and we're part of the community, and it's vibrant and it's working, it's an approach that might get a game off the ground that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And that the world will be better for having the game in it. That's how I would answer it. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think, once we all decided to put in our own personal money to make this thing happen, I think that was kind of when we made the decision that we're going to make this thing and it's going to come out one way or the other. So we're dedicated to making this thing see it to the finish line. I also would, we have to do Patreon because, we pitched this thing to publishers the traditional way, tried to get funding for it the traditional way, do all that stuff, but publishers are not as eager to give out money as they used to be, and especially for a game like this, which is considered a niche game. They don't, you know, they know this game's not going to make hundreds of millions of dollars no matter what happens, so, you know, they're not interested in it. So it was either shelve it and you guys never get to experience this game, and we thought that was a shame because it's incredibly fun, or put in our own money and use Patreon to kind of have you guys help us with it. You know, we unfortunately had to cancel Mad Skills Motocross Chasing the Dream. We were working on Michael Hodge, and I remember when Hodge and I announced that we were canceling it because we couldn't get funding, you know, the community's response was like, why not crowdsource it, do a Kickstarter, do that, you know, and everyone was bummed about it and was like, we'll give you money. So when we were talking about this game, that's kind of what we thought was like, I mean, the community said that they would help us, and they wanted us to crowdsource a different game, so that's why we're doing it this way. You know, you guys are vital to making this game better and helping us fund it. But we're going to make it happen.
And the other thing
is,
we expect there will be some people who are down, who don't want to support it. And that's cool too. I mean, you know, I don't expect everybody will. There might be some people who don't get on board at this point, but when we release, they're like, okay, cool. Now it's a final thing, and we'll jump on. It's kind of up to us to make it good enough that we have enough people involved in the early days of this, that it kind of gives us a longer runway, but that's our responsibility. We're the ones who have to make it really good to provide that kind of value. Anyway, hopefully that kind of puts you understands where we're coming from with it all. But I appreciate the question very much.
I'd also argue that I don't think most play testers get paid. I've play tested for many companies for many years, over a decade, and I don't know if I've ever been paid by any of them. So maybe I'm finding the wrong people to play test for.
Well, I think it's different. I think when you're paying a play tester is when you're going in and you have expectations and you're laying out, this is what I want, and this is what I want, and this is what I want. And it's their responsibility to come through and do that stuff. They might not just play it to have fun. They're doing a job.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a QA tester hired to do stuff, that's different, I think.
Yeah,
right?
It's different. But normally if you're just like in on the beta someplace and playing it, it's like you respond if you want to. Most people who sign up for a free beta don't even give any feedback. They just get the game and play it, and they never even actually give feedback.
Yeah. That's
normally how that works. Anyway, good question. I like it. That we got to approach that today. I'll see if I can catch up over here on TikTok a little bit, because I know I'm a little bit behind with some of this stuff. Is it on console? Tebow, thank you for the follow, man. Much appreciated. Also, and Trev Patton, love it that you guys are following us. It's awesome. That's one of the best things about live streaming here on TikTok is the discoverability is awesome, and we get a lot of people who follow us. It's hard to kind of jump in after 30 seconds and understand what we're doing here with Cranked. You know, you see something and it's got these placeholder graphics and reminds you of other games and stuff. But when you follow us, it gives us the opportunity to show you over time what it is we're doing, what our vision is, why we're different than everybody else. So, you know, if you're not sure, if you see what we're doing and you don't really understand it, or you feel like it's something you've seen already, maybe give us a follow and hang with us for a little bit and see if in the end you think we're doing something different. Like I think most of the people who are actually playing at this point do.
Yeah. Following is free, guys. And I post, you know, we post mostly every day, and it's usually me talking with some gameplay footage in the background, just talking about updates on what we're working on, things we're doing. I do a lot of like video responses too. So if you leave a thoughtful question in one of the comments, you know, there's a good chance I'll respond to it with like a video reply. So follow us and you'll definitely learn more about the game. Good free way to kind of learn more without.
We try to respond to it's hard to respond to everything when you're in a live stream, just because we have all these things going on all over the place, and we're trying to do a lot, and we have limited time. But if you hang out with us on any of our social platforms and you comment, you know, we look at it every day, even on weekends. We try to make sure that we're really engaged, and we're committed to this throughout the duration of this process, by the way. I think one of the keys to making a game like this is that you care about your community and that you foster it. We intend to stay true to that the whole time. That's for sure. We got some more topics. If you guys think we could jump into them, or should we? Anything else to say for as far as modding is concerned?
No, but I think did we come to a conclusion with what we're gonna do with the Patreon tier? Or I mean, we're definitely gonna remove the modding thing from the 25 tier, but I guess we got to figure that out.
Yeah, I think then the next thing is that how do we rearrange the other tiers? But I think we mostly agree, right, to make the modding tool available to all tiers on Patreons.
Yeah. Zach, right there, I don't know if you saw that, but in those instances when you like hit something, and just, I think we need to crack. I don't know. We got to fix that. It's stuff. This trail's a
Yeah.
good one to like kind of pull out some of those bugs and issues to work on, I think. That's kind of what I was getting at earlier when I was talking to you in Discord about, like, is there an easy setting in Unity for me to adjust kind of how those things are affecting me? Because of instances like that, like, and that I kind of just like kicked up, hit the back wheel, kind of weird. I feel like stuff like that should probably knock the rider off their bike. But at the same time,
hey,
wanna...
Jamie Hunt, don't think they're answering any questions we're asking. I'm actually trying to. I'm going to kind of, how about if I take a second to go through here? Because
go for it.
I hear you, man. I don't want to ignore these questions. It's kind of hard to keep up with all the screens. So let me spend a couple minutes doing a little rapid response, Joe. You cool with that?
Yes, go.
Okay. Hey, so the game is called Cranked. There's one of the questions that have been asked. And it's not on PS5 yet, but the plan is to bring it to console after we kind of make it work on PC. We're starting with PC. We're a small team, self-funded team. We're trying to stay very focused, and we think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake. I won't speak for these guys, but I think it's a mistake. I've made it myself in the past, trying to do too much, trying to build something too much, when you should be focusing on what matters the absolute most and getting that right and doing one thing at a time and staying focused. So not console yet, but yeah, that's the plan eventually. James, did that answer the console question for you? I hope. We answered it a number of times today so far. Is it free? It's not free yet, but we had a conversation a little bit ago about creating a free demo. It sounds like we all pretty much thinking our majority owner was taking comments earlier too, and he also thought it was a good idea. So feels like we all think, and frankly, our Patreon members who were responding all seem to think it's a good idea for us to sort of prioritize a free demo. So I think we will do something like that sometime soon. We need time to build it because it's not built yet, but we have to figure out and get it done. Getting the typical questions, what makes the game different than Riders or Republic or Descenders? It just feels very, very different. I always like it when our players answer that question better than us. It just seems like it's better if it's coming from people who aren't on our dev team, but it just doesn't feel anything like those other games. It's very different.
Yeah, just quickly, physics feeling different, and our emphasis on racing and the way we're doing racing is definitely more competitive and more realistic to like UCI downhill than any other game. So if you're into racing and you really like dialing in your times, kind of like a Trackmania time attack style, or like UCI downhill stuff, you probably want to head over and play Cranked.
Dylan, I see we have one Dylan who's with us on TikTok right now. Another Dylan asked, he's not here, but he was kind of making fun of the brake lever. If you all are watching this and you're not kind of up on where we are in the process, we're about 4.5 months into a prototype build, and we have all just placeholder art for now. The first real art, which is a Frameworks bike we worked on with our friends at Frameworks, is coming soon, very soon, next couple of weeks probably. And here is where it currently stands with our artists. So this gives you an idea where the art direction is going to go over time.
Yeah, what other questions?
I think I'm about caught up. If there's anybody else who feels like I'm not seeing your post, please just ping me again. It's just that I missed it.
Is it Clarky asks, is it just first person? Right now it's just first person, but we are working on third person. We'll get the new bike in there, the new rider, and then we'll activate third person and then start working on all the animations, making the rider look good and all that stuff. But yes, it'll come. Another Descenders question. We literally just talked about the difference between this and Descenders. The big thing is game, the way it feels, the physics, also the emphasis on racing. The core loop's totally different. It's not like procedurally generated career mode like they have. Ours is totally different. But we had players in here talking about it earlier, and one of them said they had 1,000 hours in Descenders and really likes Cranked and thinks it's very fun and feels totally different than Descenders. So,
all right, I think we've hit most of these questions so far. Let me look on YouTube real quick. I got another quick question for you. We talked favorite sporting events. Let's do another hypothetical. I'll pose this to anybody hanging out with us as well. You can have any one individual in the world come into your living room and play a show for you, play music for you and your family and friends in your living room. Super intimate, just people you invite. One person, not a full band, one person with one instrument that they can bring.
Oh, dude.
Who is it? Who do you invite into your home to do this?
I would probably say Justin Vernon from Bon Iver, and his instrument would be a guitar.
I'm not surprised to hear you say that it would be
And
Justin Vernon, Joe.
let me explain, because the other people I'd say would be Dustin Kensrue from Thrice, or the front guy, Justin, I forget his last name, from Susto, but we just had a private show with him. My mom hired them to play for her birthday, so it's kind of like I already had that experience. And the reason I went to Thrice is because my wife Laura hates Thrice, so I would want someone that Laura also enjoys. And Bon Iver we both enjoy. Bon Iver was actually played at our wedding, so that would be mine.
I've got someone on our TikTok community, my guy Mike over here, already took the answer out of my mouth. So I know, Mike, you and I are two peas in the pod, brother. That's
Who
for
would it be?
sure. His answer was Billy Joel. If I was going to pick, and you know me, Joe, my musical tastes are all over the place. I mean, almost everything, like you, me, and Aaron, almost everything but sort of mainstream new country music I can get into. But Billy Joel, man, ever since I was like 5, and I started listening to that dude for the first time, I've loved his music forever. I still do. There's never been a time I didn't like Billy Joel. He's a legend. He's amazing at what he does. If I'd have anyone in my living room playing a personal show, it's Billy Joel on a grand piano, period. With you, Mike.
Nice.
He's not with us anymore, I don't think, but he gave his answer anyway. So
Clarky is spamming. Do you think it's better than Mavericks? I'm assuming you're asking me. I don't know if you're asking me or players or us, but
maybe we just let anybody else answer that question. It's not really a...
Yeah, I mean, the thing we always tell people is we're not really here to like compete with other games and try to be better than anyone. We're just kind of making what we think is the most fun game we can possibly make, and it's up to players to decide what they think is better than the other games. That's my opinion.
I'd be curious what you think, Clarky, if you played them both. Maybe that's the answer. Like, what do you think? Yeah, that's the way to go.
Someone talked about keeping this bike as an Easter egg in the final.
Dude, I don't want this.
And then I think it was
to
Tobias who said like we should have it only for the Patreons or something
Yeah.
like that. I think that's a good idea.
I think for the Patreons, the way I kind of wanted to do it was like anyone who actually joined the Patreon the first time in the first, I don't know, maybe we say like 90 days the Patreon was open, like they get access to that, but anyone else doesn't.
Yeah.
Nice, Ollie. Ollie's saying Lane Staley from Alice in Chains up in his living room.
Nice.
Have a little seance. That'd be nice.
Cranky bike.
Surprised you don't want that dude whose video you're obsessed with, Brian. Have him just play that one song for you.
I'll tell you what, dude. It is absolutely insane that it took until episode 6 of the Crank Developer live stream for High Ren to come up. I don't know if any of y'all know what High Ren is. I'm obsessed with it. One of my favorite hobbies is watching people react to High Ren to Ren is the artist, and the song is High Ren. In the video, the incredible art that he made when he released this video a couple years ago. It's pretty astounding that hasn't come up yet, Joe.
Oh, man, these roots are weird today. Like, I don't understand what's happening.
Erin says she likes the idea of a completely exclusive real life T-shirt for one of the higher tiers. We actually have talked about that, Erin. Joe and I had conversations this week about adding that too. I think for it to make any sense, it would have to be in the $100 tier, unfortunately, because there's no 50, right, Joe? 5, 10, 25, and 100.
No, but we could change the $25 one and adjust it, or remove the $25 one and change it to like a $35, like whatever the T-shirt. I think if we got T-shirts actually printed, I could get those done somewhat cheaply to where they probably could fit into a $25 tier. But then, there's also like, how many of them are we going to sell? And
yeah. Well, but we would do them on Printful, and that way we don't have to manage inventory, and they just get printed on demand, and you can use print.
My point is that it's way more expensive doing it that way. If I went to like my local print shop here and just bought T-shirts and had them like silk screen them, or it's way, you can get one shirt for like half the price of what you would pay Printful. So then it makes it more affordable to put into a tier like that. But now you've got inventory and you got to deal with all that shit.
And you got to fulfill it, and we're trying to not add a bunch of extra work on. So I hate to do it to where you create something that's a pain in the butt. I almost think in order for a T-shirt to work, you have to commit to doing print on demand. That's what I think.
I hate print on demand, dude. I hate direct to garment printing though. It's like here's your crappy, less quality shirt. That's my opinion.
Do you hate the quality you get from Printful in general?
I mean, I just don't like the DTG printing at all.
Okay.
Like, it's just not my thing. I like screen printing.
No, you like quality. I know. It's one of the things I like about you, Joe. You like everything to be the best. I get it. The good news is you're making a video game right now, and you're trying to do that. So that tendency is a nice thing when you're trying to make a fun game to play. All right, let's see. Anybody else over here asking questions?
Yeah. Hoodie for $100 tier and a t-shirt for $50 tier. That could be doable.
Eric Bush is saying a terrible interaction. If you're trying to do sales, how about engaging customer questions? Okay, we're going to do that, and then we'll jump onto another topic that we want to talk about today. Let's do it. I'm with you. If you're still with us, Eric, I'm going to go through. Is there going to be? Let's see. We have Zoros. I don't know what this person's name is. There going to be an option to change camera settings or field of view? Joe, let's do really rapid. Let's try to be fast here as we go through. Joe?
Yes, we will work on new camera settings in the future.
Cool. Pixel Biking, it likes the look of our game. Good. I'm glad to hear that you do. Exter, what console do you play it on? We don't have it on consoles yet. It's only on PC, Mac, and Steam Deck at this point where you can play it. Is there going to be? We already answered a question about camera settings. Is it free? No, there's no free version. We've talked a lot about that in this stream so far. We're considering making a free demo. It sounds like we're all kind of on the same page there. Don't have a final plan for it yet. Right now, you can play the game via our Patreon for a minimum of $5. If you spend $5 for a 1 month pledge, you get every build that we create over the course of that month, and you get to keep it. That's the way that you can play it currently. Pixel Biking says, can you make a mode where you can build your own trails? Modding is a part of it. Joe, you've talked a little bit about a trail builder. You want to kind of quickly answer that one?
Yeah, we have an idea. It depends on how successful the game is. If this game takes off and we've got money to support this idea, we'll do it. But we would love to also, in addition to modding, have a trail builder mode where, like, we release a big environment and you guys can go in there with like shovels and bulldozers or whatever kind of tools we have, and you can kind of sculpt the terrain and clear, cut down trees and kind of build your own trails and then share them with others. We would love to do that, but it really depends on how successful the game is and how much money we have for future development.
Yeah. Cool. So let's see. Where is this guy? This guy Eric Bush. I'm glad you're hanging out with us. He was the one who's suggesting that we're not interacting. Has asked us about comparing to Descenders. We just have answered it a dozen times already. We answer it all the time. So I hear you, man. But we just can't. Every time somebody asks that question, we can't stop the stream and just answer the same thing over and over again. It just doesn't work that way. So quickly, we are not trying to compare it to Descenders. It just seems like people generally, other people do quite often. So we end up answering for that a lot, but we don't sit around and think about Descenders when we're making this game at all. We're making a game that's very different. And if you play it, I think you'll see that. So that's the best way I can answer that. Continue the rapid reaction. See if I've missed anything over here. Is there going to be an option to change? We answered that one already. Is there a free ride map? Tebow asked if there's a free ride map. Joe, you want to do that one quick?
I'm on a free ride map. This map has a bunch of different trails. You can see I can go wherever I want. There's, by the end of it, obviously this is a work in progress, and every time we finish a new trail, we release it. Today we released a new build that had that trail I was playing. The reason I've been playing that trail is because it's brand new, and I want to try the brand new trail. It's brand new for me too. Today's the first day we've had racing on it. This is me bombing the mountain, but you can see all the different trails all around. You can go do whatever you want. You can do stuff like this. Probably die here soon. Maybe not. There we go. So yes, it's open mountain. There'll be lifts. There'll probably be around 40 trails. There's going to be a bike shop, maybe a coffee shop because of Aaron's suggestion, which we love. Places to hang out. Friends can hop in here with you. There'll be challenges all over the place. So yes, open mountain.
Cool.
Free roam.
Cool. I feel like I'm caught up.
Found the RP question. Do you think we'd consider changing the exclusive items in Patreon to an overtime basis versus the tier? So, I don't think have we answered that one question?
What's the question?
Found RP. Do you think you'd consider changing the exclusive items in Patreon to an overtime basis versus the tiers? Because right now someone could spend $10 once to get exclusive gear, then cancel immediately, versus someone could spend $50 over time. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I think it seems fair to me to just say anyone who spent $10 total in the Patreon or whatever we make the cutoff be, they get the exclusive gear too. So, we'll keep talking about it and make some changes, I think. But yeah, I just want it to be fair. And if you guys supported us early on, I think you should, get exclusive gear. So
I think this is a good. Is there anything else we need to catch up on the YouTube? I feel like we're caught up on TikTok. If I'm missing it, guys, it's not intentional. It's that we're watching a number of different things and we get a lot of the same questions over and over again. And we're kind of new at this, so we're still figuring out like the best way to deal with that and be as inclusive as we want to be without making it a boring stream because we say the same things over and over and over again. So we're working on that. Let us know if you have views on that after we kind of have this conversation we're about to have right now. Which, remember, this one, Joe, is early thoughts on what it feels like to be live streaming a new game like this, and with a specific discussion about the interesting balance between having a YouTube audience and having a TikTok audience. Shall we have that conversation, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this. Brian and I were talking about this kind of last night, and we thought, we should bring this up on the stream too. But we noticed that it's interesting. The people on TikTok, it's a very different crowd than the people on YouTube. Like, YouTube is our more core followers, the people, more of our Patreon members, people who know us personally, and the people who kind of hang out and watch the stream for a way longer time. If we look on YouTube and like the average view time for a stream is like, I don't know, like 20 minutes or something, and the average view time on TikTok is like 20 seconds. Like, it's massively different. And on TikTok, people just pop in, half the people say Descenders rip off and just leave. And I was like, man, is this just us? And that's when I was saying earlier, I've talked to some other game dev friends about it, and they're like, oh no, dude, TikTok's just like that. Like, it's always people comparing to other games and whatever. So, we're trying to balance the stream where, because TikTok's super important to us, and we want, discoverability. That's where we're getting most of our followers every week, is from our TikTok. Like, we've
meet
gained
so many new people on TikTok all the time. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, I love that.
96 this stream alone followers on TikTok, so super important for us. But we've got to balance like entertaining the YouTube people who are more the core audience, who want to know the ins and outs and the nooks and crannies and all the details of the game, and then balance it with people on TikTok who are just being introduced to us and are going to start following us. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. It seems to me like on TikTok, because discoverability is really good and you have a lot of people coming in and out and things happen quickly over there. I think what happens a lot of times is, somebody watches the stream for a couple of seconds and then somebody says, like this guy a minute ago, Descenders ripoff is what it says. Just maybe it was in the stream for a minute, if that. That's kind of what happens over there. And then we get a lot of questions that, maybe sometimes some questions are asked to us 20 or 30 times or more on TikTok in the same stream. And answering them takes a little bit of time. And we don't want to ignore people. These are people who didn't know we existed a minute ago. So we want to have the opportunity to show you what is cool about Cranked. But we're just not really sure how. Like, what do we do here? What's the best way? Or is there anything we can do? Do we just kind of say, this is how we're going to do this? We're going to do the best we can. And that's it. I'm not sure. I'm 100% sure what to do.
The obvious option, which is obviously more work for us and probably not super doable because we're super busy, and Brian and I are both, and everyone on the team is doing multiple jobs. But obvious solution is you stream to them at separate times. Like, we do a TikTok stream that's separate from a YouTube stream, and they kind of have different goals. That would be a good way to do it. But we're streaming for 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes. If you do that twice in a week, now you're talking about 8 hours instead of 4. So probably not doable when we're very busy.
Or maybe it's doable, but not necessarily with a weekly frequency, something along those lines. I don't know, but just know, everybody, that we're like figuring it out. And if you come in on TikTok and you see this for the first time and you ask us a question and we've had it 20 or 30 times already, I don't always know how to respond to that. I want to have an answer for it to smoothly answer it and help you understand. But if I just say the same thing over and over again, like I'm kind of doing right now, it's boring. But I'll say this, I love it. This is the highlight of the week for me. I've never done anything like this before. I was always a behind the scenes guy at RacerX, at Turborilla. I always was kind of behind the scenes, and other people were doing the in front of the scenes thing. A little bit outside my comfort zone initially, but it's fun to me. I think it's a blast, and Joe and I like talking about what we're going to do, and we like meeting new people and getting ideas, and it's kind of near the end of the week, so it lets you know that you're kind of winding down and you're getting somewhere. We get to have people on with us who aren't with us all the time, like Zach, and we want to have Maggie on here eventually when we can, and we had some other ideas for getting some people on with us. So I'll just say I think it's a blast. I think it's super fun. I think it's I hope we have a lot of the same people come hang out with us every week. So I think, at least for those people, something is good about it. So it's been a lot of fun for me. Zach, what do you think? How have you liked it whenever you've had the couple times you've jumped on with it? Have you had a good time with streaming so far?
Yeah, I think it's been super fun to be on on the stream so far, and I think you're doing a great job, Brian, at balancing this TikTok versus YouTube. Now that you explain it that way, it makes a lot of sense. You know, one way maybe to look at it is to be okay with the fact that TikTok is more of a short span, like video, and like people getting on and off, like that you say, like the average watch time is 20 seconds. You know, it is crazy, but also, as people say, we get more reach. So I think maybe one way to do it is to, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, that's my intuition, my opinion on that. Like, we make this and we interact with more of the YouTube, with more of the Patreon guys and girls, and the TikTok is there, so also we get this reach. But if people ask or send comments like, "Oh, they send a ripoff," we just don't care, right? Like, people on TikTok, they go there and they can learn about the game and maybe get into the community in a better way. So that's pretty awesome. But because we have this bigger reach, if someone just drops in comments, they send a ripoff and logs out, we just ignore it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we do right now, right? So I think
which is what I was saying earlier. Like, if you have a question, ask the question about it and we'll answer it, especially if it's a unique question that we haven't heard. If it's a question we've answered a bunch of times, it may take us a while to get back to it again, you know. But yeah, I'm with you, Zach. I think that type of thing is not it's kind of obvious what we should do.
If the TikTok people, they go in and they see that we have this wholesome conversation with the community, with the long-time Patreons and that type of stuff, I think that can only make them want to join us. The people who would want to join us, and
that's true.
The haters are gonna hate anyway. We're not there for them, so you know.
But I'll open it up because, you know, especially those of you who are hanging out with us on Discord, if you guys ever think of anything that we could do that would be more fun, if you see us doing something that's annoying or we could be better at something, we're just kind of figuring this out as we go. So, you know, I'd love any kind of feedback from people on things that we can do better to make this more entertaining and more worth spending time with us. But let's kind of segue that into the Reddit thing, Joe.
Missed the turn. Yeah.
They're kind of connected. So Joe made a post on Reddit this week.
Before you do that, do we have any questions we need to hit, or just check it, Nancy, again?
Yeah, let's see. Let's take a look and see if we're missing anything here. Any plans to update Mad Skills BMX? Jack wants to know. I don't know if Dana's still with us. That's on the YouTube side. Mad Skills BMX, they're asking this question, if you all don't know, because the three of us, everybody you can see on this call, and others, and many of the others involved in Session Syndicate and Cranked, the game that we're playing now, also are involved in Turborilla and Mad Skills Motocross and BMX and these mobile games as well. This is a different company, but we're involved in that as well. So that's why that question's being asked. I don't know the answer. If there's a plan currently to do BMX,
it did just release on Nintendo Switch, though. So if you have a Switch and you want to play it on that, hit it up.
But it's on Nintendo Switch, right? Exactly. And I'm getting the numerous questions about how much it costs. It's like $5 per month on Patreon. Gets you every build we release for the month, and you get to keep them. And Luca had a question here for us too. I don't want to skip because I told Luca, is the stern? Yeah, this is a good one for you, Joe. Is the steering turning really affecting physics, or is it just an animation like in other games?
Zach,
either
take it
you
away,
guys
dude.
can answer this question. Yeah, maybe it's better for Zach.
There's no animation, basically.
Yeah.
So that answers your question. There is absolutely no animation. Everything is free physics based. It's a bunch of different masses that try to connect together, and I apply force in real time inside of that. So no, definitely turning is done inside of the physics system.
I don't think we have Ellis Gorillas with us anymore. Is there something else you want to say about that before I move on?
Nope, I think that was good.
Okay. Ellis Grelis asked a question. Don't think this person is with us in the chat anymore, but the question is why did you name the trails as they are named? That's a good question. Let's make sure we get that one.
Naming the trails?
Yeah. Where'd it come from?
Yeah, so Prancer, Cedric, or also known as Antgrass, names a lot of the trails because he's the trail builder. But we do have a Patreon tier that's $100, and in that one, the big thing is you get to name a trail. So Siggy Stardust was actually named by my friend who joined at the $100 tier. His name's Alejandro, so he named that one. If you want to name your own trail, all you gotta do is join at the $100 tier for 1 month. You get that. Plus, that'll also get you the game at the end, like when the game's out. Because if you spend $50 or more on Patreon, you get the game. So if the $100 tier gets you the game, name a trail, 30-minute call with me, a bunch of other stuff. So that's how you can name trails. So as many people that buy it will name the trails. Once we've kind of reached our limit of the amount of trails we'll have in the game, we'll have to shut that Patreon tier down. And then any names that are left over, we just kind of name them ourselves. But they're usually based off of fun things. And what was Prancer? He said it was based off a song or something. I forget how he named Prancer. And acrophobia was the fear of heights or something. And because that course has some like skinnies on a cliff, that's why he named it that.
In the Mad Skills days, track names oftentimes had some pop culture reference. It was very, very common. If you were to go back and look at Mad Skills and all those track names, I mean, there have been so many tracks after all these years now that it's hard to tell how they're all getting named now. But at one point, we spent a lot of time thinking about track names for Mad Skills, and there was always references to bands and all kinds of things in pop culture. It was always fun.
Tails had a super nice idea, I think he posted it before in the chat, regarding naming the tracks, is that we should have, like on the Discord Patreon channel, have like the community come up with track names and voting, for the best one. I think that could be fun to do that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Doesn't that, cool. Does that take away from the $100 Patreon tier though?
We could do it for one track, like have the whole community come up with like with a funny name and voting for the best one. I don't know, but don't need to do it for a bunch.
Come on with this crap.
We've had a few questions on the TikTok side of things asking about tricks. We haven't talked about that too much so far in the stream today. Will we add tricks? Like so far, you can whip, you can do spins, you can do flips. That's all just physics based. There's no animations. But what about other tricks, Joe?
Yeah, we got plans to do other tricks. That stuff will come later because we want to first prioritize like the core riding and the racing and kind of just the way everything feels, like scrubs and whips and all that stuff to us is priority because this game, focusing a lot on racing. And then once all of that's dialed in and the game is released, we'll see how things are going. But the hope is that we can add in a full-on trick system. We've already got plans for how we want to do it. So yeah, we want all that kind of fun trick stuff for sure. Cool. And we'll add different bikes in the future. So this is the downhill bike, but we want to have a enduro bike, a trail bike, hopefully a dirt jumper. And then, the dirt jumper would come along with wearing all the tricks. And who knows, maybe even a BMX bike and like some dirt jumps. So we'll see what happens.
And Trevor is asking, go ahead, Zach, I'm sorry.
I've seen a question asked many times by Rookiet that I love, so I need to shoot it at you guys. Thoughts on a ski snowboard game with similar style physics after Cranked release. So I am snowboarding in real life. I would love to do that. Joe, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big snowboarder. That's probably the sport that I actually was the most skilled at, I think, out of all the sports I've done. And I'd love to do it, but I think Shredders is really, really good. So when I look out at the other games, it's like, is there another game that's already kind of crushing and doing the similar things that I would want to do? And my answer would be Shredders. So,
yeah,
if we thought of things that Shredders is not doing and could differentiate us, then maybe definitely.
Makes sense.
I think it's hard to compete with Shredders, man. They look good. They're steezy. They're stylish. It feels good. It's a super fun game.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if there's.
Oh, that's fair.
Elliot on TikTok. This is something I like hearing. Looks like a good game, and I don't even bike. Awesome. Thanks. This game is fun. That's the great thing about this is you can just pick it up and play it. You don't have to do this in real life in order to have fun with this game. So I'm glad that that's the way that it comes across to you, and I hope you try it sometime. A couple more questions about VR and console. It's PC right now. It's just a prototype. We're not even into the alpha and beta phases of development yet, so we're just making it on PC to start with. Eventually, though, the plan is to bring it to console, and we hear VR a lot. It was never a part of the plan originally, but you hear enough people ask about something, it starts to get your attention. I would say VR is starting to get some attention anyway for the long term. But we'll see. Who knows?
Zach, you got any thoughts on VR?
My thoughts are that it's super easy to just activate it using Unity Engine. Like, it's not that hard to get VR working. You would need quite a big machine, like a powerful machine to run the game. I don't think we'll ever optimize for VR because it's a pain. But do you really want to play that in VR? And I mean, it sounds awesome, but as you play in VR, your motion sickness is a big thing, and that game would mess up with your balance. That's my guess. That you would play 10 minutes and then have your head spinning for the rest of the day.
That's how I am. I know some people that doesn't affect them, but I know MX Bikes has VR too, and I did it in there, and I could do like 3 laps before I wanted to barf. So
yeah.
What other questions we got, Brian?
I'm looking right now. I'm not seeing anything else that I think I've missed. Oh, here's a question Ollie asked. What do you guys think about sick background music? We didn't talk about that yet today, did we?
No, and I was actually talking about that with some friends. I got a lawyer friend. I was asking him like how to go about even finding that. I need to look into that and figure out how much it's going to cost and like licensing and all that stuff. But I'd love to have real music. I'd love to have yeah, I don't know. But we'll have music in some way, shape, or form. In the past, what we've done is got a buddy who's really talented musician and producer. He actually works for a Blue Man Group and does like some of the background instruments for Blue Man Group. Antonio is his name, and in the past we've had him just like create new music for our games. So if we don't go the route of like getting stuff licensed and paying licensing fees, we could go that route where we do stuff like that. So I don't know, we need to research it, but we'll definitely have some sort of background music and soundtrack. I also want to have like a Zen mode where you could just turn that on. It removes the HUD. It like amplifies the nature sounds and puts on some relaxing music, and you kind of just vibe out and go ride. I want that too.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
You want to talk a little bit about the Reddit post you made this week, Joe?
Yeah.
Kind of talking about
sure.
Community management and all that stuff.
Yeah, Brian and I were just wondering, like, talk about, the whole point of this game and this project is to be super honest and open with you guys. So we were kind of talking about how yesterday I posted a Reddit, or maybe 2 days ago, and just kind of, it was on the Indie Games subreddit, and kind of just posted a video of the new trail and talking about the game, what we're going for. And I think the majority of comments were positive, but then, you always get those people on Reddit who, I missed a gate. I don't know. A lot of people want it more realistic. And then you start reading some of these comments, and you try not to take offense to stuff, but it's hard, man. You put a lot of work and time into something, and you're passionate about things. And then you hear people say like, oh, when I read your description, I was super excited. But then when I watch the video, it looks like shit, and it doesn't look realistic at all. And this blah, 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 whatever. It's hard. It's hard to explain to people who haven't felt this game kind of how it feels. I mean, it's one of those things where when you play it, I still to this day don't know of anyone who's played it and personally given me feedback saying this game's bad. Like, what are you doing? Everyone who plays it's like the more common thing is like, oh dude, I sat down and 4 hours later I was like, what am I doing? I need to get off this game. Like, people can't put it down. It's addicting. So I don't know. I'm just curious what you guys think. Like, how is there better ways to post things that get more people more psyched and really understand the feeling of it? Are we too, we were super early talking about this game. It looks janky at times. There's no art done yet. It's all placeholder, so I don't know. Maybe the thing is to just remember that there's always people out there who will, no matter what, never be on board, and you just kind of look past it and,
I think I think as much as anything, it's just kind of sharing with the community that, even though feedback has been amazing so far, but when you're doing something public, you have detractors, and sometimes people or people who just disagree or think that what you're doing is not what you say you're doing, etc. That's fair. And the bigger you get, the more that happens. It's really more about, like Zach was saying earlier, how we sort of process it, like what we do with that. And we're human, so if somebody says something about something you really, really care about, it can kind of ruin your day. It can make you feel crappy. But ultimately, we need to work through that, I think, to some extent, and just make sure that at every turn we're doing what we believe in and what we said we were going to do to the best of our ability. And that's really what we need to do. But sometimes it's easier said than done, especially if you're having a bad day anyway and somebody says something that kind of makes you feel misunderstood, or like maybe a comment came before a fair chance was given, for instance, that type of thing. But
Yeah.
it's gonna happen, man. I think ultimately we just need to, take
Yeah,
it in, see if there's something we can learn from all the feedback we get. If somebody says something wishing us cancer or something like that, we need to know to not give that any oxygen. And if somebody says something that's a fair point, kind of like the person made the comment early on about where modding should be, that stuck with us. We heard somebody made a comment and we thought, yeah, I think that guy's probably right.
Oh, that's
I think that's what we need to do, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also Reddit is not the. It can be a very toxic place.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to keep that in mind. I don't know if you see, because I'm also on the indie game subreddit and all of that.
Nice.
Right? I scrolled some of that sometimes, and recently there is an interesting post that was posted in indie gaming subreddit, right, about Hollow Knight. I don't know if you've come across it when they posted the first trailer and the first images of Hollow Knight on Reddit. You got some of the top comments that like destroyed the game, saying that it was irrelevant, that it will never be successful, that oh god, another platformer in the game, just what we needed, like super sarcastic, I'm not saying that is what's going to happen or that it's all about us, but it's a good thing to keep in mind that I think, you get some of that.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean a lot, I think, right?
Yeah. And the other
Like
thing
Tobias
I have
says, we had to grow some thick skin because Mad Skills Motocross at one point had 500,000 people playing it every day. Imagine numbers like that. How much? Like no matter what you do, the numbers are just such that you are going to get hammered no matter what you do. Every decision you make, somebody's going to dislike it. And you're going to hear it. We had to grow some thick skin in those days for sure. Eventually, you get to where you have to be like, okay, but what's the consensus say? That's what we have to focus on. Are we getting it right for most people? That's the best you can do.
The other thing that Brian always has to remind me of too is like, okay, but how's the feedback from people who've played it? And then he's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. So like we get a lot of critical feedback from people who've never played it, but the people who have played it, I mean, we've got what, 700, 800, 900 people now who've played the game. And the amount of people who have given us feedback saying it sucked was like, I think 2, 3 tops, like literally. So I got to remind myself that like the people who felt it and played it, they have a different opinion.
And I agree with Makai. Makai said, and let's move on from this after this because I think it's probably getting boring. But Makai says overall the Reddit thread was positive. It was.
Yeah.
The Reddit thread was actually really positive, and the people who had feedback, they were respectful and cool about it. It's not like anybody was trolling or anything like that. So, but also, if you're passionate about something, sometimes somebody can say something that just hits you right in the right place, and we're just being honest about the way that feels sometimes. So, but 100% agree. You don't want to give oxygen to that stuff if it's, you can listen to the whole thing and you'll be okay. So I agree with you.
Plus, it got me thinking, like, are they right? Like, do we need to tweak some things? And I think we do. Obviously, we're still working on stuff. So, and then I popped into Discord and was talking to some of our, like, best players like Tails and Jax, like, hey, are they right? Like, do we need to make this way more realistic? And we had a whole conversation about it. So, all the feedback, whether it's good or bad, we're listening to and we're talking about it, thinking about it, just so you guys know.
Yeah, man. Wigwam Pig, that's a cool username over on TikTok. Hope you're with me so I can show you some appreciation for your fun username. Says it looks like a mobile game, but never played before, so you don't know. It's all placeholder graphics. It's a prototype at this point. It's not going to look like a mobile game when we're done with it, and it certainly doesn't play like a mobile game.
Yeah.
Although there's some dope mobile games in the world, but this just is not one of them. Cool. All right, let's move on from that stuff. Anyway, we just thought it'd be fun to talk about, the whole streaming thing and what it feels like for us as we're kind of starting this process off. Those are the main things we wanted to talk about today. One thing we mentioned that we might have some new people is that we've unveiled the first bike that's going into the game. When Joe's finished with his burner, maybe we'll show the new Frameworks bike. We've partnered with the guys at Frameworks. They make an awesome downhill bike. It's going to be the first official bike in the game. We just have all placeholder stuff in the game right now. Joe's up 4 seconds on his best run right now. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're not going to worry too much about the new bike yet. Let's see what he can do on this awesome S-turn.
This trail's so long, though. I got a lot of ground to cover.
Yep.
But 4 seconds up, that's solid.
That's you're still almost 5 up. This is a run. This is a run, man.
Dude, there's a nice
I'll
gap
see if there's
up
some
here.
questions. Pablo AM over on TikTok mentioning the Firewatch vibes. Love it when we see that it's an influence in the overall style. Now this is all placeholder for the most part, but it's indicative of the general sort of cozy, stylized feel that we're going to have. Maggie is doing what she calls a painterly approach to the environment. The bike itself is pretty realistic looking, honestly, at this point, where it is at this point. But the environment itself is going to be stylized and cool, and I think Firewatch inspired. So good eye. Good eye. And Asher mentions and agreed with this. The only way to improve is to get honest feedback. 100% agree. I said the same thing on Slack a couple days ago. Tommy French sharing the live. Man, really appreciate it, Tommy. When you guys share, if anybody else is watching on TikTok and you have the feeling you might want to share it, we appreciate it. It helps us spread the word and other people can see what we're doing. Killian wants to know if there'll be adjustable bike types such as frame, tire pressure, suspension. Probably not, Killian. Joe, and I tend to agree with this, but I know Joe feels strongly about it. In games that have a lot of setup stuff, you end up wondering if you're not doing so well, is it my suspension? And there are certain people who like tinkering with that, but we're focusing mostly on fun and less on like making sure that every single element is completely realistic. We want to provide sort of a realistic feeling of riding is the way we kind of describe it. So I don't think we will go the way of customized settings on bikes. We could have different kinds of bikes that perform differently. An enduro bike and a downhill bike would be different and would have different settings, but I don't think they'll be adjustable per bike. But lots of customization options as far as how you look will definitely be a part of it. And Joey
I'm so
Zeiger.
invested in your run, Joe.
I know. I'm taking advantage of the opportunity to answer some of these questions while he's on this burner. Joey Zeiger wants to know how to get it. You can get it on our Patreon. If you want to try it, a $5 pledge for 1 month on Patreon, Joey, will get you every build we do for the month, and you'll get to keep them. Earlier in this live stream, we talked about how we want to do a free demo. It sounds like that's going to happen at some point. We're not 100% sure when, but we're gonna do that when we can, because it seems like the best thing we can possibly do if we want people to understand this game is say, well, here, just play this trail and you'll see what we're going for.
That was a good
Nice,
run.
Joe.
All right, let me show the framework.
Good run, man. That was a good run. This is the first bike in the game.
Yeah, that's
was
the work in
coming,
progress bike. Obviously, you can see it's not done. There's no cranks and a bunch of other things, but work in progress, and it looks so good. I love it. Are you going to be able to crash on a bike going downhill, impact, or heavy fall, or is it more arcade? Yeah, let's show some crashes. I'll do that right now.
Lars wanted to know if you were racing against your own time or against his time on that, Joe.
So if you go to leaderboards here, I think you guys can see this. Yeah, if the yellow name is who I'm racing against, so you can click on whoever you want. But I've had it on myself this whole time. But yeah, let's talk about falling. So obviously, if you like hit a tree, and this is one thing we're actively working on. Yeah, like you hit an obstacle, you will die. Obviously, if you like. Well, let me see if I can do it. If you like land upside down or whatever, you can like lean back and wheelie till you crash. If you have a hard impact, like this will show you how much we need to tune this right now, because I'll just bomb the hill and you'll see there's times when I definitely should crash and I'm not. Like here's an example of one where if you like jump and land sideways, you just slide right now. That'll be changed and that would be a crash big time. So we're still tuning stuff, but like here we go. Let's try to get a hard impact crash. It's all based on like G forces and stuff. So eventually here, this will be heavy enough to where I'll die. There you go. So you can see source of crash, vertical. I don't know. What does that mean, Zach? Vertical?
It means that I'm not registering the G-force in that case, but I'm looking at your difference in vertical speed in like with a little buffer, right?
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, you can crash, if you do stuff like this. And then, if you hit a rock or a root wrong, that'll make you crash. But we're actively working on it. The next thing Zach's going to do after the Strelp mechanic, which we're testing and working on now, is going to be working on the crash detection and making it a little more realistic. But still, it'll be arcadey at the end of the day. We want the game to be forgiving and not be super punishing. Like you should be able to kind of cruise through rock gardens and roots and things, because that's how the pros are riding in real life. They got these sick bikes and they're so skilled that they can like float over all that kind of stuff. So we're trying to make Cranked feel like you're a pro. That's the point.
Yeah.
Flips and spins. Yeah. Let me do some flips and spins real quick. Is a third person, not yet, working on it. So the flips and spins are cool. We just updated them actually. So now, like in real life, if you would do a flip and you tuck the flip, you're gonna spin faster. Like watch, if I tuck it, that was a bad jump to show it on, but
Yeah.
like here, watch. This is not tucking, tucked. See how I sped it up? Same with spins, but spins are the opposite. So if you like pencil up or stand up in a spin, you'll spin faster. So like here, that's not spinning faster. Here we go. Oh, that would have been sick to hit that. But yeah, so you can kind of control the speed of the spin by whether you're tucked or standing. Same with flips. So those are really fun. You can also kind of throw whips. We need to work on the camera, but you know, it's all free physics, so you can kind of do whatever you want. Some people do what kind of looks like a tabletop by pushing the sticks apart, and some that actually requested that we make it so that if you pull the sticks apart, it actually makes it look even more like a proper tabletop, because it kind of does now, but not really, and that wasn't the intent. But like here, I'll show you right now. You know, you can kind of like do something weird when you put the sticks apart. Yeah, it's fun to kind of just throw stuff around. You can also scrub if you lean off the face of the jump, and it actually does keep you lower. So yeah.
You can wheelie. Have you
Oh yeah. The wheelies are sick. Let me show you, and manuals.
Yeah,
We've
they're
improved those. They need some work too. Once we get third person, I think we'll tweak them again because they need to look better, but they feel really nice. I'm going to do it right up here. There's a spot right here. That's good. Right here. So you can land in a manual. Oh, too far back.
Captain Jax is kind of commenting more on the whole tuning of different parts thing. He says, Car X Street is a prime example of a game with lots of adjustability. Even though it's amazing to deep dive into setups, it can be very overwhelming for someone who's not as knowledgeable. And we're trying to make a really accessible game. So I think that's a pretty good explanation of why bike tuning is probably not going to happen in this game.
Yep. It's also a lot more work, and we're a small team. I mean, Zach's our only programmer. We've got a programmer, an artist, me as a game designer, and Cedric Ancrast doing the level design. You know, and then we've got some people on the ownership team that are helping out with other things here and there. But, you know, the day-to-day dev team is 4 people, only 1 programmer right now. So, you know, to make a bunch of tunable stuff and all that for a small team like us is not wise use of our time. But who knows? Maybe in the future things will change. Maybe we have different tire types or something basic. But I don't think I'd ever want where you're like changing the compression and the PSI of your front fork and you know.
And you know what? It makes sense with our SimCade approach. If it was more simulation, then tweaking all of that would make sense. But we want this like more blending and easy to pick up, and then I think it would get in the way if you had all those settings to go through.
Definitely. And one of the pillars of this game and kind of our philosophies is that it needs to be accessible, and not just in the gameplay, but in like how it performs on computers, and if you have tuning and all that stuff, I think it takes away a little bit from the accessibility, makes it a little more intimidating to get into and all that stuff.
Nick over on TikTok is asking a lot of questions. He's kind of pushing on the Descenders comparison thing that we've talked about a lot here so far. He wants to know what I mean when I say it's all placeholder. Here's what I'm getting at, Nick. This is a prototype that's been in development for about 4.5 months. We're focusing mostly initially on gameplay because we think it's the core of the game. All the graphics that you see are placeholder. In other words, we just got these from the Unity store, most of them. Not all of them. Some of the environment stuff was like what Maggie, our artist, worked on for a brief time as we were building the initial prototype. But we're not building out the look of the game yet. The first real sign of what it's gonna look like is the bike that Joe showed a minute ago, the Frameworks bike. That's sort of the first real art that we are working on fine-tuning into final form. What you're seeing on the screen right now are mostly just junk graphics. Like the bike that you see, it's just something we found on a store somewhere so that we could put it in so we could build and work on the physics. That's what we mean. So the game isn't going to ultimately look like this. It's just a prototype that we're sharing publicly. Over time, as it develops, you can see what the bike looks like on here now. The one that we're working on, that will be the first in the game. We will replace these placeholder graphics, these temporary graphics that we've created that allow us to build good physics, the most important thing. And once we feel like the physics are there, we're going to start, and we're getting close. we're going to build in more and more of the final art, and the game's going to start to differentiate, and it's going to look very different. That's what I mean when I talk about placeholder graphics. And the only thing I can tell you about the way this game plays versus other games is, if you're watching this, it's very visible that this is quite different than other games, the way that it plays. But if it doesn't feel that way, just try playing it. We're gonna put together a free demo at some point. Maybe wait until then if you want. And when it comes out, play it, and then you can see what it's actually like based on what it plays like, not just what you think this demo looks like. That's how I'll answer that, Nick. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, and I mean,
no worries.
Maggie hasn't even touched this map. The other map Maggie has been in and worked on it, but this map, to my knowledge, I don't think she's even been in here and done anything.
Yeah, this is actually all placeholder, right?
There is one thing in this map that's not placeholder.
What is it, Zach?
If you can guess what it is, you get 1 point. It's it's a little trick question. It's the sky.
I bet you'll want to change that at some point too, huh?
Yeah, we are gonna change it. But the sky is the only thing that we actually. I think it was Niels that painted it some times ago. But yeah, all the trees are from Unity Asset Store, the bike, the rider, terrain textures, everything.
And the reason we did it that way, just quickly, is when we first did this prototype, the mandate was we have 6 weeks to find the fun in a prototype. That's it. You have 6 weeks. At the end of the 6 weeks, if the game isn't fun, the game is canceled. So you don't spend a bunch of time making it look pretty because you only have 6 weeks to find the fun. And you don't find fun in pretty graphics. That doesn't make a game fun. Makes a game fun like this kind of game is the way it feels. So all we focused on in the early days is the way it feels. That's it. So you take shortcuts where you can, and you just focus on making it feel fun. And I think our mandate was 6 weeks, and within 3 weeks we were already kind of hooked on it, and we were like, okay, we got something here. And we let enough people play it outside of internal to give us good feedback, and then that's when we kind of greenlit it. And now we're still working on physics and the bike feel, but once all that stuff's dialed, then we'll start making it look good.
Some questions about y'all going to enhance the graphics now. We're getting close. I'm not sure if you heard what we were just saying a minute ago, but I like that you're a trout fisher person. I am too. We were just talking about that this is mostly placeholder graphics, and we're in the process. We're starting with the bike, with the Frameworks bike that's coming soon. Next couple weeks, and then we'll start developing the graphics after that. Price, we don't know what the release price is going to be, Baki. We're a little far out for that still, but you can get the game now, the prototype, for as little as $5 on Patreon. Basically, a 1 month pledge of $5 will get you every build that we do over the course of a month, and you get to keep those forever. So
this month will be the new bike. So, sometime this month, this bike will be put in the game. So if you subscribe now, you get to enjoy the new Frameworks bike.
This person says, just a suggestion. I think that the people that are showing early support and that play the demo should get a free play. Just a suggestion. A free play. I'm not sure what that means, but we are talking about a free demo. That we were talking about that earlier in the stream today. So we're kind of all on the same page. We need to create some sort of free demo that people can just try it.
Yeah, I think at this point we're on board with that. We just need to make it happen.
JT guessed the sky. Nick and a couple other people on TikTok have been asking about weather, and I noticed somebody earlier asked about track degradation. You guys want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, we won't have track
potential weather.
We won't have track degradation. I don't think it's super important in a game like this, especially when we're trying to make it very competitive. And I know in real life the track conditions change, and the first guy who goes down compared to the last, it's a totally different track. I get it, but this is a video game, and I think in the real world, if they could choose to have the exact same track where conditions were the exact same for every single rider, they probably would, because they want it to be fair and competitive. So that's why we won't have the track deformation. We want everyone to kind of be on the exact same track all the time and have it be as fair and competitive as possible. As far as weather, last stream I said I had no desire to have mudders, and then the last UCI World Cup race was basically a mudder, and now I've changed my tune, and I really want to have rain and mudders. So we'll see what happens and what Maggie and Zach can pull off. But I think if time and money allows, I think weather and all that stuff would be fun.
That's first I've heard that. Okay. Interesting. Martin on YouTube says, hey guys, just want to say he's really enjoying the game, thinks it's super fun, and really likes the physics and likes the approach. Thanks, Martin. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
Nice seeing you over there.
I wonder if that is Martin, Jabrilla Martin. Probably not, but
Oh, maybe.
Oh, it'd be awesome. if it was.
I did send the build to Martin. I've been chatting, and I sent it to him recently.
Oh, cool.
So
Is that you, Martin? Martin, like Turborilla Martin? Let us know in the chat if that was you. I mean, you're still Martin, even if you're a different Martin. You're still Martin, I guess. But
And also with the track deformation, considering we want to have like open world, like massive multiplayer, at what point would the track deformation reset, or
yeah,
like,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense when everyone is on the track at the same time,
right.
like that. So
Kobe King on TikTok. Thank you for clarifying that. He said that what the guy was asking about is if you donate early, you should get the complete game when it comes out. Yeah, that's how it works, Kobe and everyone. If you accumulate a total of $50 pledging in Patreon, it can be 10 months at $5 each. You could do it, in any increments. But if you total $50, you'll get a key for the final game when it's released. So yeah. Sebastian. Martin.
nah, different Martin, he said.
Different Martin. Okay, cool.
We still like you, though, Martin. Don't worry.
We do want to add tricks to the game. Yes. Seeing that question, that's the plan. Ultimately, you can do whips and flips and 360s, etc. now, but it's all physics based. We have ideas for how to do tricks, like more in-depth tricks. Don't want to get too much into that. It involves another person, but we think we know how to do that well. Let's just say we have a dream for how to make tricks work in this game, but it's nothing definite yet. Hey, Martin, the Martin who is here, the difference between you and our buddy Martin is you're here, actually. So thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out with us.
What other questions we
The
got?
game's called Cranked.
So this is I was just going to quickly recap, this is a new build actually that we're testing today that if you're on Patreon, this new build came out today. We've got 2 new trails on it. The one I'm on right now is the full top to bottom run that combines 2 trails together. And that's kind of why I've been riding this trail a lot, because it's brand new. There's also some other features in there new, like some new setting to auto adjust you in air if you're more of a beginner and you kind of want some assists. First draft of our Shroud mechanic that's a little buggy, but we're releasing it to you guys to give us some feedback. Oh, the game crashed on a burner run. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Is everyone still there? Why do I not hear anybody?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm here.
you guys are just not talking.
I'm here.
Your screen's black for a second, but yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I was catching up reading over here.
Are you gonna play only? It would be nice for a live at some point to get some challenges where we play. For example, we try to beat you, Joe, with some handicap or something like that. How would that be?
That'd be fun.
Right? I'll be up for that. Like
Tails, dude. Look at Tails. 13 seconds faster than me.
You're ridiculous. Some more questions about first person and third person. I'll touch on that since we have some new people hanging out with us. We talked about this a good bit earlier. If you want an in-depth discussion about it, you could go watch the stream again or check it out later. We started with first person. We want to add third person. We're committed to adding third person, but we're also aware that it's going to be a very challenging thing for us to do well. But it's on the roadmap and it's something we intend to do well. We just know it's not going to be easy. So we're going to be kind of open about the challenges of it as we go. We're going to explain what we're trying to do and share with our community as we do with everything and do our best to make it as good as it needs to be. Because when it's third person, there's room for making the game look janky if you're not doing a really good job of it. So that's what I would say. Third person's coming. But we don't know how long it's going to take us, and we are committed to getting it right, knowing it's not going to be easy, I would say. Zach, you didn't answer your question about music. Who would you have in your living room? Any one individual who could play. So the question, this is for anybody in the community, I'd like to hear what you all say too. You could pick any musician in the world, one person, with one instrument, to play in your living room, a private show, and you can invite anybody you want. Who would you invite into your home to play? That's my question. Zach?
oh man, that's a hard one. think there is this. Oh, but just one guy or girl. No band, right? You said.
Yeah, one person.
One person. Makes it harder, man.
Think about it, Zach. I'm going to clarify something Kobe King is saying. If you donate $5 on Patreon, you don't get every build that we ever do. Moving forward, you get every build for the month of that subscription. So a $5 pledge on Patreon is a 1 month pledge. And for that 1 month, you would get every build that we release, and you'll get to keep all those builds. But if you go into the second month and you want to continue getting builds, you would need to keep your subscription going. This is the way that $5 can turn into 10, 20, and 50. And if it ultimately gets to 50, you'll get a key for the game. That's how that works, just to make sure you guys understand. Back to you, Zach.
I don't know. I'm a big reggae fan, so but Marty comes to mind being such a iconic, and I think it will be. He's a good guitar player, and I think he could definitely make a super unforgettable showcase for sure.
Yeah, especially since he's been dead for 30 years.
Yeah, he had time to improve.
It'd be a really memorable show. Tim Henson
you didn't say live, right?
No, I didn't. Curb says Kurt Cobain and his 12 string. His 12 gauge, oh no. I thought he said Kurt Cobain and his 12 string. He said Kurt Cobain and his 12 gauge. Ouch.
Oh my God.
All right. Ozzy, lots of people are mentioning people who have left us. AF, I'm glad you have a game that you like, brother. I'm very glad that you have that. If you haven't actually played this one, maybe try it. Plouthian, David Bowie, love it. Jerry Garcia Quinn says, I'm a big Grateful Dead fan, so I love it. Yeah, these are a bunch of people who are dead. But that's maybe the reason you're choosing them, because it would be that much more special if you could reanimate Jerry Garcia to come play a show for you.
Tej is asking me, what do I think of modern reggae like Monga Sci-Fi, and I love them. I've been watching them at different concerts and everything. I also super enjoy dub and sci-dub, mostly Panda Dub. I don't know if you listen about these artists, and recently this guy Bigger Ranks that's been mixing kind of trap rap music and dub music, reggae at the same time. I think I really like it, and I suspect you're French, but might be wrong. But yeah, I know you're French actually, Tate. I think, right?
Man, that was a good run, and then I died. What time did we start? How long has this been going? 3 hours?
I figure we probably stop at about the top of the hour is what I was thinking. I think we've kind of answered a bunch of questions, and we've gone for 3. I'm good if you are.
I'm good too.
Another Lane Staley over here by PNiv. Yeah, Lane Staley. If that were possible, that would be good.
Okay,
can you make a
you're
Red
not
Bull
French.
Hardline map? Can you do wheelies? Yeah, you can do wheelies. Let me do some.
Hardline, we don't have plans for real world tracks at this point. We're so early in the process, but we have a history of doing that with our Mad Skills mobile games. So it's something we would like to do eventually. If we would have to work with, trail systems or track organizers or whatever to make that, or race series, UCI or whatever to make that happen. But we'd like to do that one day, hopefully.
Yeah, the leaning
Vanity
wheelies
is a
need some
professional game breaker looking for ways to break. Just we're on Discord over there, Vanity. If you want to connect with us over on Discord.
Yeah, very helpful for
Discord.
trying to break stuff, actually.
Yep. Nate asks if we're going to make it so players can make their own tracks. Yeah, we were talking a lot earlier in this stream about modding, but we also, Joe would like to create an actual track builder one day. He championed the track builder in Mad Skills Motocross. For now, the only definite plan is modding, but we'd love to be able to do actual track building tool one day as well to make it a little more accessible to people who aren't so good at programming. Hopefully. Nuclear says it looks like low budget. It's a prototype in 4 months with all placeholder graphics. So yeah, it makes sense that it looks low budget to you at this point. It doesn't feel that way though. So and soon it won't look that way either. So I would encourage. Hey, how about a follow, man? maybe consider following us and paying attention to what we're doing and what our, what our approach is and what we're going for here. It's mindful. It's something that we really care a lot about. And give it a shot and see what you think that way. That's anyway, an option for you if you want to, or not. Either way.
I don't know about you guys, but Brian, well, Zach, you've done a couple of these now. Do you guys feel like extra tired at the end of a live stream? I do.
Yeah. I end up getting pretty tired at the end of a live stream.
Hey, it's midnight now, and
Yeah, you had a busy week too.
I'm getting tired. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I do. But I always love it. I always have such a fun
for
time
sure.
hanging out.
Me too. Do flips, and you can tuck in the flip to go faster. I'll kind of showcase that here since this is a big jump line. So here we go. I'll start the flip not tucked. Tuck it, and it speeds up.
Kobe says he's sure that it gets annoying answering the same questions over time. I mean, I wouldn't really say annoying. It might get annoying to hear the same answers if you hang out with us a lot. We're stoked that people are coming and checking us out. I mean, a lot of times when people say these things or ask the questions that we get so often, they've just seen us for the first time. They didn't know we existed a second ago. So it's understandable that they ask questions that happen a lot. It's maybe up to us to figure out a better way to kind of answer all the most common questions. So we don't do it 1,000 times every stream, but yeah, I'm grateful people are interested enough to ask the question, Kobe, to be honest with you. Thanks, Seba, for answering the question about what it's called and what it's on Nuclear Nut Squirrel. It's on Patreon right now, so you can play it on PC, you can play it on Mac, you can play it on a Steam Deck. We're making a Linux build that you can play on Steam Deck too. $5 is how you can test it for 1 month. You'll get every build we do over the course of that month, and you'll get to keep those builds. And most people who play this game will tell you, you could sit on one trail. It's common to just session one trail for hours. It's quite common. If you ever played Mad Skills Motocross, it's got that similar replayability. That gotta nail it. Finally, you get a bit better of a time, and then you go back again. You see how much you moved up the leaderboard. Go back and do it again. This game's similar to that. So I think it's easy to make a $5 investment to test it out initially. Very worth it. That's my view on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting a bot to answer in the comments
Yeah.
would be kind of nice.
Duck wants to know about streaming on Twitch. I've wondered about that a little bit, Joe. What's your take on streaming on Twitch too?
Probably should. I know at Turbrilla we switched from Twitch to YouTube because more of our players there, that was a mobile game, but more of our players there were on YouTube and not on Twitch. So that's why we switched, and that's kind of what I got used to. But could fire this thing up on Twitch. I'd need to make a Twitch account and all that. Probably a good idea. I don't know. Ever since Twitch was bought up by Amazon, though, I feel like it's meh.
Vivinity, thank you, man. Vivinity has joined the blue tier on Patreon. Appreciate it. I'm interested in the way you test the game, and I'm Brian over on Discord. I'd love for you to kind of introduce yourself to us when if you join our Discord and just kind of say, hey, I'm a Vivinity guy or gal from the stream, so I know it's you. Maybe you just have the same username, then I will know. We don't know about the price when it releases. We're not sure yet. It's every step of the way our goal is to bring more value than we're charging anybody. We won't make a free game. Maybe a free demo, probably a free demo, but beyond that it won't be a free to play game. We don't want to get into advertising and microtransactions. We're against both of those things. They'll never happen in this game. So we have to charge for it, but we always want it to be fair. And we want, when people play it, we want them to quickly feel like, okay, this was worth it. That's the goal.
And this is our big open mountain environment, which doesn't have many trails on it yet. It does have like maybe 3, 4, 5, I don't know. Yeah. But I'm kind of just cruising to the bottom just to show you how huge it is. Obviously, this will all be, trails will be carved out of here from Antgrass. And we hope to have like 40 trails, probably around 6 chairlifts. There'll be a bike shop down here, maybe a coffee shop, maybe a little village. This is water. It doesn't look like water now, but it will be water. There's maybe the beautiful graphics and sunsets and things. You could just chill by the beach and hang out. But yeah, this is our huge open mountain area. What is it, 5 by 5 kilometers, Zach?
Yeah, basically that.
Something like that. So, but I think we're gonna 4x4, something like that. It's big. And we've got a little surprise for the backside of it. I think we're going to work on later, which will be fun. But,
It's a little more than 5x5.
oh,
actually.
more than 5x5.
Yeah, it's weird. You know, this technical stuff. It's you have to get a power of 2. So that's how it works with the terrain.
Tobias is out. I'm so stoked Tobias hung out with us this evening. He's in
Nice.
Europe, so it's late there, and
Yep. I think we're
I've been
about to be
hoping
out
see him
too.
in one of these. I know I say this a lot. Tobias is one of the founders of this company, somebody I've been working with for a long time. He's gone now, so I can say this without worrying about embarrassing. Man, I love that guy so much. He is so honest and trustworthy. He's always been that way. I've never one time in 15 years of knowing Tobias felt like he was giving me a line of bullshit ever. Have you ever felt that way, guys? I bet neither of you have ever felt anything but honesty from Tobias.
Same. Of course.
Such a good
Yeah.
dude.
When I joined you, he wasn't so much there.
Yeah, you
but
never
when-
got the opportunity to work with him all that closely, did you,
Well,
Zach?
a little when he
Yeah.
went to be the CEO for a short time, and it was really nice to
Great dude.
be with him actually.
He's the best.
Cool. Well, I think we should wrap it up, guys. If anyone's got a last second question, fire it out. But we'll do a quick outro. This game is called Cranked. We're the developers. We're a small team. It's self-funded. We put our own savings into this thing, and we want the community to help us make it better. So if you want to be part of the community, hit up our Patreon. Links are in our bios, or you can just go to Patreon and search for Cranked. For $5, you can get in on the action. You can get new builds. We just released a new build today. We released, I think, 2 new builds last week, and I think a build or 2 the week before. So we release builds pretty often. And $5 will get you those builds for a month. We're just getting started. The game probably won't release for another 1.5 to 2 years. It will be on Steam. We will have our Steam page up for wish listing soon. It's going to come to consoles after PC, and it won't be VR. It won't be mobile. It won't be free. We don't know the price. It will have third person. Currently, it only has first person. All the graphics are placeholder, and those are the most frequently asked questions. So thanks you guys.
But
for
if you have
tuning
other
in.
questions that we didn't answer or that you didn't get to ask, just we're on Discord all the time and Patreon. Just hang out with us over there and ask, and we'll answer. No question goes unanswered there. The only reason they go unanswered here is because we miss them or because we get asked so often that we can't answer every single time. So,
and
there's the framework spike.
Yeah, but work in progress from Maggie. This is what she's up to right now. She's working on this. This will go in the game this month. So if you join today, sometime throughout the month, you'll get a build that has the new bike, and it replaces our placeholder bike that you see here. But that's kind of the gist. I want to quickly see if anyone asked the last minute questions. Would y'all ever make a trail game like MX bikes, like a motocross game? Yeah, I would love to make a motocross game. I don't know if you meant like a mountain bike game that's hardcore like MX bikes. Probably not. I prefer more simcade than I do hardcore simulation.
Hey, thanks to Spot Cars for joining the Patreon. Much appreciated. If you join us on Discord, let us know you hung out in the stream so we know we can kind of connect the two things. Appreciate all of you guys who followed us. Whether you're subscribing to the Patreon, whether you're sharing the live stream, whether you're just giving us feedback, whether you're asking us tough questions, whatever. Just engaging with us and being a part of this process with us is important to us. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. All right. What is the game name? It's called Cranked. It's in the title of our username, Crank Game. That's it. I think that's it for today. So everyone, thanks for hanging out. We're going to end it now. And next week, hopefully, maybe we got the framework spike released next week. I don't know if it's not next week. It'll probably be the week after. But either way, we should have some update for you the next week or 2. And we'll be live streaming again next week. Not sure what time, probably around the same time. But thank you guys. Hit up Patreon.
Yeah, I hope to do a Cranked collabs next week too, by the way. I hope to unveil a new Cranked collab number 2 next week. So if you don't know what that is, you can ask us about us on Discord and we'll explain it. But my hope is to unveil shirt number 2 next week. We will see.
All
See you
right,
guys.